everyone saw the idiot blonde standing next to the Aventador with the smoking up, having that experience with a company, then lay down my money with a car company that goes, give me $3 million and well, I was a journalist on the radio. I earned $3,000 a month.
That was just 5 years ago. Did you ever think about quitting?
Absolutely.
100 million was some of it up front and the rest on an earn out.
We said no. Absolutely when I'm a billionaire. Do you know what? I'm going to spend the money on a new Rolls Royce and spec it just because. Let's talk about something that has this one's Rolex, right? What is coming out of my mouth right now? I wouldn't spend that money on a Porsche. I'd spend it rather on a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. We sold a Lamborghini Billionaire.
How much for?
$6 million. I've never paid tax in my life.
I did like you until right now.
I almost got sued by saying that once. I think they're going to get left behind, honestly. God, I'm going to be banned from Ferrari after this.
We've had a few years of hype and price booms in the car market.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's crashed. Why has it crashed?
Has it crashed?
I think prices are dropping. I think the hype of way overpaying for cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at COVID, right? And it was so interesting that so many people lost their jobs and there were a lot of people suffering. But when it came to the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, they weren't affected at all. In fact, they started investing, putting multi-millions into cars, and the market just went through the roof. I mean, even for watches, right? Everyone was buying watches. The market for watches just went through the roof. And so I suppose it had to kind of settle from there a little bit. But it just depends on which car market you're talking about, right? I mean, if we're talking about those super exclusive collectible cars, it's not gone down. It's not gone down. It may take a little bit longer to sell, but you've still got the multimillionaires, billionaires who want these collectible cars, and they're selling.
Yeah. Do you think part of the price boom was limited supply because they couldn't make many cars through COVID?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, I suppose, but it did affect a lot of the car companies who do in bulk, right? But, well, even so, the ones who do limited production, I know from myself, I ordered a car, it was a limited edition, 20 vehicles. I don't even want to say what it is at this point because they've let me down and I've withdrawn my order because, yes, they said they made 20 of, or they're making still, they were meant to be made 2 years ago. I was meant to have it 2 years ago.
Right.
Ordered it in COVID, and of course their excuse was, okay, we don't have the parts, we don't have the chips, all of this. And, that's understandable. Everyone was kind of going through the same thing. Yeah. But then it just dragged on and on and on. And I just feel like I'm not sure what the real excuse now is. Yeah. So, yes, in a way, of course, manufacturers were impacted by that shortage. I mean, look, I'm not an expert in the car market when it comes to exactly what's happening with supply and demand and investable cars. I have people for that.
But you know what you know.
Yeah, I know what I know, and that's pretty much all I know. So I just know from personal experience what cars I've dealt with, what manufacturers I've dealt with, and the problems that they've gone through.
You own some cars, surely?
Yeah, I own some cars. Not many, actually. A lot of people think I have like a huge garage.
To that. Yeah. We'll come to that later.
It's not that exciting, unfortunately. Just because, well, if I'm going to have cars, I want to drive them.
Yeah.
And because I travel so much, I can't really drive more than, say, 2-3 cars. Yeah. And I just think having cars sitting there and not driving them is a little bit of a waste at this point in my life.
But what about if they're one of 20 or a collectible? Would you have it as an investment like the billionaires do?
Absolutely, when I'm a billionaire.
What? You must be pretty close.
I mean, no.
We'll come to that.
Okay, we'll come to that. Yeah. Okay.
So, because I remember the day, because I have 7 cars. I remember one day I tried to drive my first car, wouldn't start, second car, and I had 5 cars that wouldn't start out of the 7. So I understand the first world problem of...
What do you mean they wouldn't start?
Well, when you have supercars and classic cars, often they just don't fucking work.
What did you have?
Lamborghini Aventador, Ferrari,
it didn't
Testarossa. No, I mean, the amount, like, at least once a year, press start on the Aventador, and every fucking light comes on. Has a meltdown.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a Lambo garage near me, because I live a bit in the sticks in the UK. So they have to bring a low loader. It has to go back to Leicester, and then it's there for 2 weeks, and then you get the bill, and there's 35 grand's worth of upsells on it. Oh, you need a new gearbox.
Yeah.
Do you though?
I know. You can't know. How do you know? You can't know unless you have a pro in your team.
Yeah.
To go, actually, you really don't.
No.
Don't be spending on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had an Aventador at one point, just a borrowed, like
By the
from
way,
Lamborghini.
I love that car. I still have that car. I probably won't ever get rid of it.
Love it.
Yeah.
At least yours didn't overheat on a one-way road in the middle of JBR, one of the busiest areas in Dubai, and have smoke coming out of it, and everyone saw the idiot blonde standing next to the Aventador with the smoking up, and no one could get by because it was a one-way road. And everyone, I caused a traffic backlog for about an hour.
And were you really well known then as well?
Yeah,
so they know who you were.
Like, oh my God, what an idiot! I'm like, it's not me. It's not me. I kind of walked away from the car.
Yeah.
It's not mine, I promise. But it was during the summer here in Dubai, and when you know that when you don't get air flowing through the Aventador constantly, we were just crawling along this street. There wasn't constant airflow, and it just started smoking, and it just couldn't handle the heat. I mean, they're very finicky cars, right? They're beautiful cars, but they're very finicky.
And what do you think about the Revuelto? I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
So I own the Aventador, and I won't be buying the Revuelto.
Really? Okay.
And I can afford it. Reason being, number one is my Aventador is probably worth what now, 200, and a spec'd up Revuelto probably be £550. So is it 2.5 times better? And then it's not the same V12 classic sound. I'm 46, so I like the old naturally aspirated V12 sound.
Totally get it.
It looks a bit better, but so like I think they've overpriced it. What do you think?
I love the Revuelto, but it's because I love hybrid cars. I love the combination of having this beautiful, beastly, naturally aspirated engine, and then you get that torque and that quick, speed right off the mark from the batteries.
Yeah.
So that part of it, I love. I love the updates that they've done inside because, Lamborghini, they've been so old school inside for so long.
Yeah.
It looks so old. You can't do anything. You can't connect your phone. There's no touch screen.
But do you have an Aventador to connect your phone?
Yeah, but do you know what? They're not an Aventador. No,
and I never have.
No.
I mean, I know it's Audi now. But
no,
you don't have an Aventador to connect your phone.
No, but you might get a Revuelto to do that because it's an easier drive. I wouldn't take my Aventador just to go shopping. It's too luggy, it's heavy, it's a beast.
Yeah.
The Revuelto feels a lot lighter. It's more of like a day. I hate saying daily drive.
Is that not then against what it's supposed to be?
No.
Because in the Aventador, it sounds amazing, as you know. And you've got the little window and you can bring it down and the engine's screaming at you there. Yeah. And you can the engine there and you can hear the exhaust there. And everyone for miles stops. And like the new modern car doesn't have that visceral experience anymore.
I don't know.
I
wouldn't say that because it still has a naturally aspirated engine. And for me...
it doesn't sound the same though.
No, of course it doesn't. But I think we need to... what I like about manufacturers is them moving forward. I hate seeing manufacturers stuck in the past and what they've always done.
Right.
I think there's a new market for these cars. People are not every Lamborghini buyer is in their 40s. A lot of Lamborghini buyers are now in their teens.
Like
they're
saying I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nearly there, so I'm
40s plus VAT. I'm 46 now.
Yeah, well, I'm 39, so it's like my last year of the 30s. So I'm going to hang on to it as long as possible. No, you've got people now who didn't grow up with these naturally aspirated V12s, and they're ready or they're kind of used to cars that don't sound like a V12. They want something that's more tech savvy. They still want the loud engine.
You get a daily for that.
But
because if you combine a Revuelto,
but
you
why
can
can't
buy
you have
5
both?
others.
You can have both. You can have your Lamborghini that you drive every day that still sounds incredible. It has the torque. It's straight off the mark. It's got the tech.
Wouldn't you have the Hurricane for that?
Yeah, but the Hurricane isn't as cool as the Revuelto.
But it's a better daily. Sure, I mean it's not a daily.
I mean,
no Lambo. The Urus probably still isn't a daily.
Yes, it is. It totally is. It's so easy to drive. They're making these cars very easy to drive, and I get that. Maybe too easy.
Yeah.
With some supercars and hypercars, you get in, and I'll say this about like the Bugatti Chiron. It's almost too easy. It's almost too passive of a drive.
Right.
It's super quick, super fast, super comfortable,
Yeah.
but almost too much so.
Right.
And like you're paying millions of dollars.
So you're saying something similar to me, going back to the hardcore routes, like the Murcielago. Oh, that's hard to drive.
Yeah.
But you feel
I think you
it.
need a little bit of both. I mean, look, the Aventador isn't going anywhere, right? These older cars that are hard to drive and actually are really a lot of fun to drive, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be collectibles.
Yeah.
But I think we do kind of need to move into what the younger collectors want as well. And I'm not sure that they all just want these naturally aspirated, hard to drive V12s. I think at some point, and I think we're seeing it a little bit now already, that we've kind of swung too far into the electric world.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of car companies were like, right, by 2030, we're going to be fully electric. We won't have one petrol car on the road anymore.
That was
and now
never gonna happen.
and now they're realizing,
Never gonna happen.
I think we overstepped, you know, and I think the pendulum swung a little bit too far this way. And I think now car companies are realizing that they kind of need to bring it back into the center a little bit more. Like, for example, the Bugatti Tourbillon. How crazy is it that all the supercars, hypercars were kind of going into the either fully electric or hybrid way. And then the Tourbillon was like, right, we're going to do everything the opposite from every other car company and put in a naturally aspirated V16, have everything, all the digital dials have now gone back to analog.
Yes.
And
was that with Jacob and Co? Was that with Jacob?
Yes.
Because they do that Bugatti watch.
Yeah, they have a partnership.
I like that. I thought it was quite classy.
I think so. And I think what's really interesting is a lot of collectors have gone, right, I've already bought my my Battista that's fully electric. I've already bought my Lotus Avaya that's fully electric. And now I want something again that's just fully, like, naturally aspirated.
That fully electric Lotus has got no soul. No. I know you can't. I'm not going to throw you under the bus.
I feel like we're completely...
Nick, see what I did there? But like...
I feel like we're completely opposite when it comes to... Not completely opposite when it comes to car, but I think we think about cars very differently.
And I'm open to learning. That's why I'm asking you.
I love the Lotus Avaya.
That has got no soul.
Okay, so what I love
the
about...
look, the sound, it's like...
What?
No soul.
What is wrong with you?
Probably quite a lot.
Have you seen the back? That incredible design where it looks like the jet engines, you know, the huge, big, like, rear design with the headlights and the... Oh, come on, man.
I've become good friends with Carl Hartley, who's got son of Tom Hartley. They're big in the UK. And he said, the worst supercar brand by a mile, though.
Yeah, sure. Sure. It's been like that for a little while. I wouldn't even say most of their...
Chinese company now, is
it
taken
over? But I wouldn't even say most of their cars are supercars. I wouldn't say that. They're more like rally cars.
Do you remember the old Esprit?
Sure.
I'm showing my age here, aren't I?
Sure, I know it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that was a sports car.
Yeah, I think they're more sports cars. They're more like buggies, like super buggies. You feel everything. They're super lightweight. You know, you feel like you're sitting on the road, which is super cool. But I wouldn't call them like supercars. But then when it comes to the Avaya, what I love about these fully electric supercars or hypercars is the fact that they don't now have to design their cars around an engine.
You think that makes them look a lot uglier?
No, I think it makes them look even prettier.
But surely a car with a grille that growls. Like, I have a DBS.
Yeah.
Tell me a better looking car from the front than a DBS. I mean, I can see you rubbing the chair there. Tell me a better looking car from the front than a DBS.
Better looking car from the front.
That big grille.
I'm just thinking quite a lot.
Oh. What looks better from the front? Like universally. Because the Aventador or the Revuelto looks fine, but a lot of women don't like them. A lot of older people don't like them. But man, woman, young or old, DBS. The look from the front.
What about okay, this might be a bit old school. Maybe not everyone falls in love with this. But for example, like a Rolls Royce in the front. It has the huge grille.
Yeah.
It has that
That's because it's got a big
stance.
engine in the front. And you said they're not restricted by the engine, and I get that.
Yeah.
But don't you think now there's no grill and no radiator? I don't think they've got the design right yet. I mean, Tesla not one of the ugliest looking cars.
Yes, it is. And that's why I haven't bought, my husband bought one. I was like, I'm not getting in that. I refuse to.
Yeah, we'll travel separately.
Yeah. No, literally, he'll get in that, and I go, right. Well, I'm taking the Rolls, or I'm taking the Mercedes. Yes, it's ugly, and that's why. Yeah, I never really want to drive one. So what I think car companies have had to really contend with is, are people ready for cars to look so different? I think they're going, right, we're moving away from engines, so we'll do electric. That's still a huge shift for people's mindset. Do I go into an electric car? Imagine if they did everything at once. They go fully electric, and they make a car not look like a car anymore. It doesn't have the big grille. It doesn't have, all
the intakes.
Like just whatever we've grown up with cars looking like, right? We know that's what a car should look like, kind of. And now the fact that they don't need the air intakes and, the huge grille for that and everything else, you've got these electric cars like the EQS with the big grille still, but it's like all digital. But I think they've done it the right way, because I don't think people are ready yet for cars to look completely different.
But does it, like, for example, you've got the Porsche Taycan, then you've got the Audi version. I think the Audi version looks quite good.
Yeah.
The Taycan, don't you think they've got it wrong with the way it looks?
Well, I'm not a fan of any. Oh God, people are going to hate me. I'm not a fan of many Porsche designs.
I like the way you changed any to many. What about the?
You know why?
What about the bad boys whale tail?
The what?
911. The big whale tail.
I hate it.
That was one of my childhood pinups. I bought that.
No, I hate it. I think it's do you know what? A Porsche is such a good car to drive. It's an all-rounder. It has everything. It doesn't need a massive, like, can I swear? Are we a swear channel?
We are a whatever you want channel.
It doesn't need a big fuck off wing on the back. Sorry. Yeah. It doesn't. It looks like it's trying too hard. That's how I feel all of these, like the GT2 RS and all of that. It's.
But is that not? I mean, I agree. I don't really feel like that's Porsche. But are they not trying to therefore compete with Ferrari, Lamborghini by?
Yeah, but why? I just don't. Look, the one Porsche, I think, is a beautiful design, but the problem is it just hasn't changed that much. And I like it.
Part of their philosophy.
Yeah, I know, and that's fine. That's their thing, but that personally doesn't vibe with me. I like it when companies kind of change it up and push the boundaries of the design a little bit more, and it means there's a market for different people for different cars within that one brand. And now I feel like with Porsche, you either love Porsche or you don't love Porsche, because Porsche is like, you can't love one car and not the other because they all look the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I used to feel like that, because I used to feel, your little Cayman or your GT3 RS, it almost looks like the same car, but obviously that's part of their philosophy.
Yes, and do you know what? I don't like the fact that you can drive a Boxster and you can drive
Porsche
and then you've got a GT3 RS or whatever beside it that costs 6 times more, and they look the same, and it's just sorry, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that land. I think I agree with you.
But let me just.
But the Porsche Panamera Turbo S, which was my daily for years until I got the DBS, which isn't as good a daily, but that Panamera Turbo S with the hybrid engine, 700 horses, everything in the back. That was a good daily.
Yeah, no, and Porsche,
when the spoiler comes out when you get to a certain speed.
Mate, don't get me wrong. Porsche is fabulous. I love driving Porsches.
I think they do that better than this hyper supercar.
Sure. I would want a Porsche for a daily. Yeah. I think they're beautiful cars. I'm just saying I don't think they look special enough when it comes into the supercar, hypercar league. They kind of still carry the same frame as, like, the Boxer or the Carrera or whatever, the standard entry level. And so for me, I love the drive. I think it's an amazing all-rounder, could be a great daily. But if you're going to spend the kind of, $200,000, $300,000 mark, I wouldn't get one, and I wouldn't spend that money on a Porsche. I'd spend it rather on a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that,
But then when people think, okay, and they'll go and buy and a McLaren for the same money, and then the thing goes wrong all the time,
yeah,
and it's half time.
That's McLaren.
Right. Why do
Although
McLaren not sort?
That's your Aventador too, right?
Well, no, my Aventador is much better than a McLaren.
Yeah, okay.
There are some McLarens that look great, that perform great, and everyone's warned me off owning one.
So I just sold my 720S.
Right. And I bet that you sold it for less than you bought it for.
Yes.
Which isn't normal, by the way, until the last 5 years.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, look, I can't talk about before 5 years because I was not in the supercar world 5 years ago.
Wow.
I couldn't afford a supercar 5 years ago. No freaking way.
Yeah.
I was a journalist on the radio. I earned $3,000 a month.
Wow.
And I drove a rental Toyota. Whatever, I can't even remember those cheap cars.
That was just
called.
5 years ago.
Yes.
You have blown up in 5 years.
So don't talk to me about how the market has changed from 5 years ago to now, because I have no clue. I can talk about the last few years.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Surely you must know, kind of pre-COVID lockdown, it was pretty normal that you buy a car and it goes down in value.
Well,
that was pretty normal.
It depends what.
Yeah, but remember, you know all these billionaires and these one of 20s, but other than that, and the super limited, anything from there down, you buy it and you sell it a lot less. And sometimes, like my DBS was 305 new, I paid 135 for it. So that was actually quite normal.
That's a crazy.
So why would you buy that new? Why wouldn't you buy that 4 years old?
No, and I agree. I've never actually, I just bought a Rolls new, and that was, my husband wants to kill me because it's already come down so much in price, right? And so that's the first car I ever bought new.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. I think, oh God, he's gonna bring this up later on. He's going, I agree with you that it doesn't make sense to buy a car new unless you really, really want to spec it out and you want one of the first.
Right.
And I think for me, it was one of those moments where I went, do you know what? I'm going to spend fuck you money on a new Rolls Royce and spec it.
How much was it?
Just because I can.
How much?
It was $670,000, which is too much for a Spectre.
Yeah.
It's too much.
That is a beautiful car.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. I love it. I don't regret buying it at all.
But is that not overpriced though?
Yes. It is.
I'm glad you admitted it.
It is.
Yeah.
You can get a very, very nice supercar for less. So all of my cars that I have bought up until the Spectre were always secondhand.
Yeah.
They were pretty much brand new still. They only had 50 miles on the clock or something. But they had already come down so much because of just that 50 miles. And so I agree with you there. It's kind of stupid to buy new.
Yeah. And do you think, so we had this price boom with undersupply maybe, but do you think the car manufacturers either got smart or took the piss and thought, we're going to bang the price of everything up, we're going to make a lot of these limited editions, and we're going to make you buy 4 Ferraris before you get the limited one, or 4 Porsches before you got the GT3. I know some people who think that's a bit of a scam. What do you think about all that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a joke. But it's the same with watches, isn't it? In that league, you can't just go to Patek and get the most collectible Patek from them unless you've bought all of the shitty ones first. You need to drop a few $10,000 on this one, 10,000
on a Patek and the rest.
I mean the shit. Okay, let's not talk about Patek then. Let's talk about something that has the shittier ones, Rolex, right? What is coming out of my mouth right now? The shittier ones.
Yeah.
Who have I become?
Oh, you're so out of touch, Alex. Yeah, no.
As in, Rolex can start at a certain price tag, right?
The ones in the window are the ones you don't want.
Exactly.
The Daytonas are in the back.
Exactly.
They've got them, but they make you buy 4 or 5.
That's what I'm saying. So you
That
buy
feels like a scam to me.
You buy the shittier ones in the front, right? You drop 10 grand on a few, blah blah blah, and then you can get on their list to buy the more.
And there's no
ones.
guarantee.
No, and you know what? I'm still not on any of those lists. It's a goal for this year. I'm spending way too much money on the secondhand market because, of course, once you get it from them, it's, I don't know, 80,000, 50,000 if you get it directly from them, and then shoots up to 180.
Yeah.
And so I'm buying them at 180.
Oh no.
And and others are getting them at 50. But as you said, I feel like I don't know if I can't speak to that now because I am not in a position, because I'm putting in so much money into my business right now to grow it, that I'm asset rich, cash poor right now. And so I'm not in a position where I can just splash $200,000 on this Ferrari, $200,000 on this Ferrari, this Ferrari, just so that they'll offer me the SP1, SP2, SP3. I'm not in that position.
No.
So I don't know if in future, when I'm a billionaire, we say when here on this podcast, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Assumptive close.
If I will do that, I might do that because that's the only way you can get these cars. I don't know if that'll ever change, but I do feel like, damn, that's pretty mental that you have to do that.
Yeah, I can't decide. So I've grown up loving Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, and
what's your favorite car brand?
Ooh. Probably Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I am, as I've done better in business, I've become less showy. But for the first 10 years of my business, I was a bit showy.
Sure.
I have the Testarossa, which was my pin-up car when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that drives like a tractor, and I love that it drives like a...
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It won't go into second, so it's often straight to third. Yeah.
Exactly.
But in Lambo, I love the story of Lamborghini. The myth is that they made tractors, and I think it was Enzo Ferrari said, "Oh, you just make tractors."
Yeah.
Like, you watch me.
Yeah. I'll prove
you watch me.
Yeah.
And what I like, Porsche's evolution, Lamborghini is absolute revolution, and Ferrari's maybe in the middle. For me as well, I love the older Ferraris, but they look like Chryslers now. They look like American cars to me. I'm really, some of the people I interview in the UK, we're similar age. You're making me realise I'm probably old and a bit out of touch. Because don't you think a lot of the newer Ferraris, they look like Chryslers, they look like American cars. Like, where are the round lights at the back that they had for 50 years, and they make them square like a Chrysler? What are you doing?
It's going to be okay.
It's not going to be okay.
We'll sort this out today so we can both sleep better.
AP used to invite me everywhere all around the world, treat me like a customer.
Yeah.
And now, no, we make all these limited editions with animals in, and we charge 300 grand and we give it to Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Fuck you, who's been buying them for years.
Yep. Yeah, no, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That really sucks. Sorry for you.
It's a bit like you only buying a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I know. Terrible.
But am I being grumpy here, or are we getting the piss taken out of us by these brands?
I think you being a little bit grumpy.
Yeah. Okay, I admit that. I'll keep my Testarossa. I'll keep my old 911. This recent budget should warn you that your pension is not safe and secure, and they're coming for your inheritance. Do you even know how much is in your pension, or where your pension is invested? Add to this the recent inheritance tax grab on your pensions and the risk of a market crash. You probably didn't know this, and I didn't until recently, but physical gold can be added to your pension pot. Gold is inheritance tax free and has grown 700% in the last 20 years. You probably know from my content I'm investing heavily in silver and gold, and that's why I've partnered with Direct Bullion. Myself and Nigel Farage are brand ambassadors, and Direct Bullion can help you with gold to protect and grow your pension. I buy my gold and silver from Direct Bullion, and I don't earn any money on any purchases of gold or silver if you buy direct from Direct Bullion. So if you go to robmore.directbullion.com, you can get a great price on your silver and gold, and you can get the Pension Gold Investing Guide completely for free. As you know, I don't do many strategic partnerships, and when I do them with people who are credible, who've been doing it a long time, who invest in things that I invest in too, and gold and silver's going wild. I'm investing heavily in gold and silver, and I recommend you check out robmore.directbullion.com. Isn't Justin Bieber blacklisted?
No,
Kardashian, did she get blacklisted?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
Look, I almost got sued by saying that once. I said,
Okay, so
it was some celebrity, and we wrote a story about it on our website, and then we got a notification from their lawyer and said, you better correct this because they are not blacklisted by Ferrari, and so they needed to know.
You got a pre-legal letter from Ferrari?
No, not Ferrari, from the celeb. Saying,
wow.
I am not blacklisted. Do not spread that rumor, because that's very important to Ferrari people, right? If you love Ferrari, the worst thing that someone can say is you've been blacklisted from Ferrari.
Yeah.
They're just very Ferrari people. I feel like I'm not a Ferrari person.
No. But I'm pretty sure there are some celebrities who, for example,
Oh, yeah.
changed the exhaust and aftermarketed it and
Yeah.
got banned.
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I know some people who are banned by Ferrari, but yeah.
I can't decide if I think that's good or bad. So let me ask you.
I don't like it. I think it's stupid.
Arrogant.
I think it's so arrogant.
Yeah.
I think it's when you buy a car, it's your car. It's not their car anymore. It's yours.
Well, I bet so Ferrari wouldn't think that, would they?
Exactly. But
right.
It's your property now. You should be able to do whatever you want to that car. Why should they have a say in that? You've put down good money, hard-earned money for that car, just like anything else you buy in life, right? It's mine now. You don't get to tell me what to do with my stuff. Yeah. And so I don't like it how they have that hold on you. They're like, right, if you touch this in any way, if you do anything to the brand that we don't like, you're out.
You leave a bad review?
Yeah, or anything. Yeah. It's just, I'm sorry, I don't like that attitude. No. And I think they're going to get left behind, honestly.
Wow.
So something that happened with us when I was going through this whole social media journey, and it still happens today with Ferrari, they don't understand social media at all. They are still mainly catering to the old white man who they always sold Ferraris to for the last, generations. So they're still like, right, we really, really value the old white man. And they haven't really caught on to the fact that you now need to reach the younger generation. Right. You need to be where the younger generations are watching.
Yeah.
And if they're seeing Lamborghini on their social feed every day, they're seeing
Lamborghini seem well in touch with the young.
Oh yeah. And also think about Rolls-Royce, how much they've changed their image. With the latest ad with the Rolls-Royce crashing through the brick wall, and you've got the surfboard on top, and they've got a disco inside. They're appealing to the cooler, younger crowd, right? And Ferrari just, I feel like, has not caught on to that. They are still so traditional, so classic. And I think they're going to get left behind. At some point, this generation's going to die out. I mean, that's just what happens, right? I mean, they need a new audience, and they are not focused on that. That's how I feel. God, I'm going to be banned from Ferrari after this.
But you don't like them anyway. And that might just make you cool.
Whatever. Yeah. So,
wow.
I'm not a huge fan of how they're...
Do you think they give a fuck?
No, and they should.
But if you've got a 2-star Michelin chef, isn't him being a bit cocky and arrogant part of the experience? Because I agree with you. But on the other hand, I think a bit of arrogance and you want the brand, this is exclusive, probably makes you want it more.
I don't know, but then you look at Lamborghini, you look at other brands kind of in their league. People still really want Lamborghini. They want to be a part of that culture, the Lamborghini culture. They want the latest, super one-off exclusive. And it's fun to be a part of the Lamborghini crowd. People are cool and fun and nice and want to welcome you in. And I would much rather that experience and lay down my money having that experience with a company than lay down my money with a car company that goes, give me $3 million and fuck off. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel valued and good?
No, I have really gone off Ferrari.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, and I grew up, and in my age group was Testarossa F40, which name me a sexier looking car than the F40. I mean, anyone my age is probably going to say that. And I grew up where it was Ferrari. And now they look like American cars, and now their brand's really arrogant. And
that's what you were saying, the American car
and I've got to buy a Roma. I mean, what is that? That doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't love it.
I've got to buy all these cars.
Yeah.
And all the newer versions of I had my first supercar was a 430 Spider, and it looked beautiful, sound beautiful. And then the 458 Spider. And then everything just looked the same and then Americanized. And from the 458 up, how's it got any different? And yet they're supposed to be revolution. Yeah. I think I'm with you. And then you've got to buy 4 or 5 and then there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And then you buy them hoping that they'll go up and then they drop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, most of the Ferraris, just like most of Lamborghinis, they're not limited, right? I mean, you buy...
They tell you they are.
No, not all of them.
No?
Not all of them are limited. No, like, for example, Purasang, like you can buy a Purasang.
I mean, what is that?
I hate it.
What is that? What is it?
I hate it.
What did they go? They called it a Purosaurus. Carl called it a Purosaurus.
It's
he had one behind us in this weird colour. Yeah, and he called it Purosaurus because he thought it looked like a baby dinosaur.
It's so...
What is
that? It's nothing. I don't understand the design. The design is so meh. It's like any other SUV on the, not even, it's worse. I just think it's so meh to look at. I was speaking to someone who owned one the other day, and they're like, it doesn't even have the like the lag is so bad. I don't understand why they put in such a big lag. It doesn't feel like a Ferrari. I don't think people are that happy with them, honestly, and I'm not surprised why. When I saw it, I was like, it's a bit, it looks a bit small as well. It doesn't really look like an intimidating like SUV, you know? If I'm going to go get an SUV, I want something that sits high on the road, like looks intimidating, is big and spacious and all of that. And it just looks a little bit like a mouse.
Or a baby dinosaur.
Or a baby dinosaur.
And then it's £350,000.
No, it's too much. It's crazy, man.
Way too
it's
much.
Crazy.
Do they know something we don't, or are they lost touch, Ferrari?
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't spend that much time thinking about them.
Wow. But I mean, pretty much most famous, highest ranked brand ever would be Ferrari.
Yeah. There was a study out or something recently about how exclusive a brand is versus the perception of the exclusivity from people. And Ferrari was ranked number 1 in people's thought that it's exclusive, right? So Ferrari is like really up there, and yep, Ferrari is exclusive, and it matched the actual exclusivity of Ferrari, which was interesting. And then there were other car companies like, oh God, I've forgotten most of the stats now, but the Ferrari one stood out. And I forget where we were going with this. What did you ask? We were talking about something about
I said that they are probably the most famous.
Oh yeah, most famous
brand.
Yeah. But I think now those, I don't know who they interviewed. I don't know who the what do you call it, the sample size, or who these people were, what age group, or where they lived. But I think if you were now to interview teenagers who like cars, I don't know, unless their parents are car lovers, because the parents will talk about their favorite cars, and a lot of them will mention Ferrari because they grew up with the Ferrari on the wall, just like you did, etc. So those kids will still know Ferrari and say Ferrari. But if they don't grow up with car-loving parents, I'm not sure that they would mention Ferrari.
So you think Lambo's more in the...
I think so.
I don't know what words to say, but it just seems like fun, excitement, passion. You think of Lamborghini as those now, whereas I think that's what you used to think about Ferrari.
Oh, totally. And it's amazing that they are holding on to that exclusivity and that whole like feeling of people when they look at them. I just think that they really need to do a little bit better with the younger generation. Yeah, and they need to advertise on social media more.
Oh, so you'll still work with them, even though you don't like
them? If they give me money, I'll work with them. I'll sell my soul, mate. No, that's not true. What's actually worked so well for my brand and me, and why I've gotten, not the only reason, but one of the reasons, let's put it that way, where I've got to where I am today is because I have rejected 98% of brands coming to me wanting to advertise. Wow. Because it just didn't sit with what I liked, or what I thought my audience would like. And so many people starting out, they just sell their soul, basically anything, to get a brand on their page to pay their bills, which is a normal thing in life. Everyone needs to pay bills, right? But you need to think long term, because as soon as you start putting a dishwasher on your content on your page alongside
dishwasher?
I've been offered like a special pillow, like a
this
like
is
a,
how my neck looks good.
Yeah,
right.
Literally like a pillow. I think I've been offered like a look. Even this, I'll tell. I got offered this. It even goes this far. I got offered a beautiful, custom-made table made out of a Ferrari engine. First of all, I was like, I don't really like Ferrari. This costs a lot of money, right? They've taken an actual Ferrari engine and made it into this beautiful table. Don't really love Ferrari, but also I don't love doing collabs very much, because do I need a Ferrari table in my life? Is that going to help me pay my bills or build my business? No, right? It's just another thing to have.
Yeah.
And yet they get all the free marketing and advertising because they've given it to me for free. And so I'm working my ass off for them, selling their product and what do I get back? But honestly, like, what
Yeah.
do I get back? It's nice to have a Ferrari table, but does that improve your business and help you grow? No. So there have been a lot.
I
Yeah.
was just trying to work out if you could market a table effectively to grow your business. Because I'm an entrepreneur and I
Yeah.
couldn't come up with
No,
one.
exactly. So I said no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if you want to pay me to market it, I'm
Yeah.
happy to, because I do love the product. Maybe not the Ferrari engine, but they have other ones or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm happy to market it for you, but it has to be paid, because listen, I'm growing a business here. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do this for free. I also need to pay my staff and my bills and everything else. So there've been a lot of products offered to me for free that I've turned down, just because it doesn't help me.
No.
And receiving gifts is a no. I never receive gifts. Like,
But
I'll
I
have
guess they
so
must
many
keep
brands.
sending them
Yeah,
to you.
no, because I don't give anyone my address. I don't
Right.
like, and if it rocks up here, like, I'm sorry, you're sending, it's never a gift. It
No.
is never a gift.
No.
It is something with an expectation attached to it. And if you don't give that expectation back to them, then you're written off.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why did you send it to me?
Yeah.
It was a gift, right? A gift comes with no expectations.
Mm.
There's no such thing as gifts in this business.
No.
And so I will say, like, literally, I've had car brands say, oh, I'll send you a beautiful, we're doing like new suitcases now, and they're gorgeous for travel and all of this. Send you one. I'm like, why? What? How does that help me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be walking around with your brand through the airport around the world, advertising your brand for free. And what do I get? A suitcase. I can buy a suitcase. You know what I mean? I can buy a suitcase tomorrow. I have that money. I don't need your suitcase.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of decisions, I think, that have actually helped in the long run.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a lot of, like, look at all this stuff.
And you just get given
We
this
just
stuff.
get given this stuff, which is cool for content. There's a difference,
Yes.
right?
So if it was useful to you and you could use it and it was something you'd want, then maybe you'd consider it.
Yeah, because if it's good for content, that's how
That's your
we
game.
get views, and that's how we make money, right?
Yeah.
So if someone reaches out and says, hey, do you want this? And we look at it and we go, oh my God, that is awesome. That's going to make an awesome video. That's going to make an awesome story. Let's show this and blah, blah, blah. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Because it's a mutual benefit.
Yeah.
They get advertising, we get awesome content. So it just always needs to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah. Amen.
Right?
Well, I don't think a lot of people are open from either side. Like you said, you get gifts and they make out it's just a gift when it's not. And then a lot of people aren't really very open about, how they monetize their social media. Like you said, this is a business.
Of course. I mean, look, I never knew that it would turn into a business. I fell into it because I love cars and I just wanted to drive cars, and that's why I started filming. I didn't actually want to be on camera, but I needed to be able to drive the cars.
Yeah.
So it kind of happened that way. And then I realized, oh my God, this is a lot of work. We need to start hiring people to help. And then once you start hiring people, you've obviously got a lot more responsibility. You've got salaries to pay, et cetera, and it turns into a real business where it's not just you saying every day, oh, do I want to get up today? Nah, not feeling it.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. You've got staff. Like, we've got 70 staff now.
Wow.
And it's like, they've got to get paid. 70.
Yeah.
So, it's...
What do they all do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, apparently you never come to the office, do you?
Never come to the office. No, they're amazing. So we
Is that mostly around content?
Yeah, so I would say the majority is video content. So our headquarters is in London now. It used to be here in Dubai. This was our first office. So I think we only have about 12 people here now in Dubai.
Yeah.
The majority are now content content producers, editors, directors, everything that goes into creating content sitting in London.
Yeah. Because people don't understand how much resource you need, do they, to create content?
No. And it was so important for me that I created a sustainable business. I got into the social media game old. I started at 31. That's old for social media. Like, people are getting into social media when they're 13. And they're already millionaires by the time they're 16. And they're doing it on the side of school. I started on the side of my full-time job on the radio. But at 32, then my husband joined me. Then we ran around the world for 2 years just doing everything, the two of us. Then we started hiring during COVID. So that was only 4 years ago. So that means I was 35. So at 35, I'm like, right, I can't be 45 or 50 running around the world as crazy as I am right now, filming content. It needs to be sustainable.
Right.
So that's when we need to start building it out. We need other talent. We need, what was amazing is we had this huge community of car lovers all over the world, right? Through the social media, all the followers. They would start sending in their content, right, to us to be featured on the page. Like it's cool that they might have access to a car that we don't have access to because it's down the road somewhere in a small village in Colombia. Who knows, right? And we can't just send our team over there. So they'll send their content in, and then our producers and our director, they'll all get together and go, wow, this is a cool story. How do we tell this? Blah, blah, blah. So we've got a whole team of people just working on content that doesn't involve me at all.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I can sit here with you today, because 2 years ago, I wouldn't have even had time to sit down for an hour.
No.
I was traveling 300 days a year. And 300 days a year, I mean, not just like every month to a different city. It was every day or 2 days to a different city for 300 days a year. And I worked my guts out. And in 2020, COVID ended that. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't
forced you
anymore.
to outsource, to leverage, to hire people.
Yep.
So let's talk car collections.
Ooh.
So I know you said you intentionally don't have a load of cars, but I bet you've still got a few. What cars you got?
I'm going to disappoint you. Okay, so I've got the Rolls-Royce Spectre, right? That I bought new
650.
for stupid money.
You called it something else earlier. Fuck you money.
Fuck you money. Yeah. And then I've got my Brabus G800.
So what's that?
I don't actually know. I thought it might have been around the 650
so it's kind of a
mark
hypercar
as well, 600.
Right. Yeah.
I got mine fully custom, like full like Tiffany blue interior.
Oh, wow.
And like, well, it's so beautiful. I freaking love that car.
Yeah.
And then I just sold my McLaren, as I said, and then we've just got a couple of company cars, like a BMW iX, like a little Mercedes, like just so that's it.
Yeah.
So what I want, so let me tell you what's going on. In the last year, right, I've launched this auction company. We have, in the last 2 years, built a whole journalism website. So we write about automotive news and stuff like that. So we've had these two businesses that we've just put everything into over the last 2 years. And so to be honest with you, collecting cars and spending money on cars right now has not been my priority. No. We have put millions of dollars into these businesses in the last, even in the last year, a few $1 million into it.
Yeah.
This year will be a few more million. We're looking for the first time to raise in the next few months. Actually, it'll be our first raise. Well, either just for the auction or for the whole thing, for the media and the auction together. Because
that's SBX, is it?
So the auction is SBX.
Yeah.
And then SB Media Group.
Yeah.
So that's where we do all of
your brand is in the media group.
Yeah. So Supercar Blondie falls under the media brand.
And you might raise money to sell shares in the whole group.
Might do because with the auction platform, our leverage is our marketing power, right? That we've built this huge audience. So it kind of wouldn't make sense for an investor to come in and go, right, we'll just invest in SBX because you need the power of the media brand behind that to make it work.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. I mean, it's a different risk appetite for both businesses, right? The media business has been going on for several years now. It's profitable. It's, it works. This one just started 7 months ago. And we're not profitable yet. So it's a tech business. You've got to kind of burn quite a lot of money at the beginning, right, to even build the platform and then hire the right people. And then, it takes quite a lot of money. So the risk appetite to get into that is different to the one in the media group. And that one's going to grow exponentially faster, the SBX auction, than the media group will.
But you
media
blew
group
up
is stable. Huh?
You blew up in 5 years.
With the media, yeah. But it's stable. Like
you still think the auction business is going to blow up more?
That's going to be my baby.
Are you sure you haven't got distracted?
No.
Because sometimes you do your thing, you get really good at that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, look at this.
New toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, I want to build long-term sustainable businesses. We've built this audience, right? And there are a lot of content creators, I'll just throw out Mr. Beast, for example, who build this incredible audience. And yes, you can grow the media brand through that audience, but it's kind of steady growth, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want things to shoot through the roof and then suddenly crash. It's a steady growth, which is
great.
But
you blew up over 5 years.
Yeah, but also it feels like a steady growth because each year it's been, you know, just steadily growing, as in monetary wise.
Right.
Like audience wise, yes, it blew up, but monetarily, you know, it's steadily going up and up and up. What do you do with the audience you've created? Where do you take that? You've got an active audience watching every day.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast, other creators, Logan Paul, whatever, KSI did the energy drink, Mr. Beast did the burgers. My product that I'm creating, it didn't make sense to do burgers. I'm in cars.
Yeah.
Didn't make sense to do a drink. I'm in cars.
Yeah.
Makes sense to do cars as a side business, sell cars because I'm in cars.
Yeah.
So we've got this really engaged community of, you know, 120 million people around the world who love cars, who actively buy cars, premium cars. Why shouldn't we be the people they're buying those cars from? So you've got all of these, you've got the traditional auction houses that have been around for donkey's years. They've done amazing, but it's all been very traditional old white men kind of feel, right? Where you fly in to a fancy location somewhere in the world, you've all got your tuxedos on and everyone's very proper and drinking champagne. Fantastic. It's worked for a long time. But now there's new rich, there's new millionaires, billionaires, tech entrepreneurs, people who don't know that world at all. They want to buy cool cars, but they don't feel welcome in that world. And they don't necessarily even want to be a part of that world. You know, they want to be a part of a new car world. And so then you've had businesses go online selling cars, like Bring a Trailer, right, in the US. But they have mainly been selling $30,000 cars, like on average, it comes down to about $30,000. And that took off fantastically well for them. It's great. But there's a massive gap right now, okay, between you've got your traditional auction houses where you have to fly in, be there physically, or you have to get someone on the phone, or someone needs to be there physically anyway. Yeah. Or you've got cheaper cars for sale online. Where's the middle ground where you can buy premium cars that you want from home online? There was no one. Bring a Trailer does a little bit of it, but it's not bespoke enough for that clientele. If you're going to buy a $3 million car online, you want personal service, right? You want to be able to pick up the phone and go, hey, you know, tell me a little bit more about the car, or has it done that? These people are busy people. They want that kind of service. So we were like, right, we don't know every multi-millionaire, billionaire in the world, of course, but we've created this incredible network of car lovers and collectors all over the world through content by going and visiting their car collection and getting to know them. We've got access to these people who want access to these super rare cars at a lower price because we don't have the overhead of a physical location where the auction happens. So we only charge 5% to the buyer, 5% commission, and pretty much nothing for the seller. When you look at the traditional auction houses, they can charge 15, 20% to both buyer and seller. I mean, they are raking it in, but that's a lot of money to pay on top of a $3 million car that you're buying at auction, right? And then you've got us, we only charge 5%, which is a huge markdown for these guys buying these cars. And it is super convenient. You don't have to fly anywhere. And we're going to do all the work for you. We go and inspect the car. We take all the photos. We make sure all of the details are there for you to access. You can pick up the phone, talk to our specialists. Like, we're creating this whole new space where you can buy a premium car just from home.
Right. This is like the modern business model, isn't it? Because Uber don't own any cars. Airbnb don't own any hotels or real estate. So you're not having to buy and sell these cars in stock, which could be a massive risk to you.
Yes.
Because if you go in on the wrong end of that, watch dealers, loads of them like lost everything because they bought high in the market crash.
So we're not doing that. We're keeping you as a seller. If you want to sell your Aventador, which I know you don't, but
if you did, if I do.
Do
you sell that kind of car on your?
Of course, yes. Anything like about $100,000 and up.
Yeah.
But it has to be really good quality.
So you had a Testarossa just like mine on.
We've sold a few Testarossas. What's cool is you also don't have to ship your car to a location for it to be sold, right? So if you wanted to sell your car through a traditional auction house, you would have to physically ship your car there so people can see it.
Yes.
You just keep your car at home if you want to keep it at home.
So people are buying these cars and they're not even viewing them?
No, because our team will go out and inspect them.
Right.
Sometimes, if they're really valuable, they will send someone to go and view them if that's what they want.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we sold a Lamborghini Veneno from the Middle East into Hong Kong. And
how much for?
$6 million.
Ooh.
We broke a world record, like the highest valued car sold online. And
$6 million?
Yeah. And
that's the highest online car sale?
Yeah.
Veneno, wow.
So,
why is it that Daytona or a Patek will sell for $20 million and it's a watch?
You tell me.
Yeah. I'm asking you. I did the questions, you did the answers.
Devin.
$6 million. I mean,
and he just came to the site because he knew my brand, and he was like, right, well, I trust you because I know you. You're
so
online.
You got 5% of $6 million. Yeah, and a bit. Yeah. Wow.
No, and all we did was, because he wanted to see the car, but he wasn't going to send anyone in. So we just got someone from our team to go and literally on a live Zoom call,
right?
Just literally take him around the whole car, see it underneath.
Yeah.
Inka, she's fantastic. She's been with us for 4 years. She was doing it, and she's in a skirt underneath the car.
Selling point
on the Zoom. And so we care.
Yeah.
And I really care because I built this brand, and I need to maintain the integrity of the brand I've built. And so I really care about all of the details and the customer service. And I think that's what we're doing better than any other online auction house.
Well, I hope it blows up like your personal brand.
When it blows up.
Yeah,
when it blows.
Absolutely.
No, look, it's hard though. I'm not walking into this thinking it's easy. No. It's not. It's
nothing
not.
is.
No.
Nothing that's worth it is easy.
No, it's we've had to completely revamp our team.
Put millions in it, like
put millions in it.
Yeah.
Build the whole tech thing, which took a year before we even launched. We just actually hired a CEO for SBX, which is so exciting because he knows so much more about this space than we do.
Yeah.
We're marketing. We're in marketing. We know social media. We don't know everything about the auction business. We're not idiots. We're not going to go into it and go, we're social media experts. We're going to sell cars online. We don't know anything about it. You have to hire people who are better than you at that,
course,
right? And you learn from them. So we've had to revamp the whole team and get really amazing people in. And so now is the big push. Just in the next few months, there'll be a huge push.
Well, exciting.
It is.
SBX.
SBX.
All
SBX
right.
Cars.
Yeah.
SBXcars.com. SBXcars.com. Did you get that?
I think we got it. Do you want to say it again?
Yeah, SBX Cars.
So how many social media followers across all the platforms across the world has Supercar Blondie got?
Just over 125 million at this point. I know, it's crazy.
Do you not ever just sit down and go, wow? Do you pinch yourself?
It doesn't feel real. Yeah, it doesn't feel real at all. It only feels real when you're walking around and people are actually like, oh, hey, I love your content. You're like, oh my God, these are real people
That's nearly twice
watching.
the population of the whole of the UK.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
That's a third of America.
Yeah.
How many views do you reckon you've had in total of all your videos?
Oh my God, such a good question. I don't know because...
I'm going to guess 100 billion.
More, I think it'd be more because we do 2 billion a month.
2 billion a month?
Yeah.
We do 150 million a year, and I think from a guy from Peterborough, he did all right. 2 billion a month.
Yeah. So I really don't know. Nick, do you know? Is Nick here? He'd know that figure. Anyway.
He's got bored of you already.
He got bored. He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah. He asked me to ask you one question, which was, why are you so boring? That was what he wanted me to
ask. He's such a shitbag, isn't he? That's my husband and my business partner.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Can you imagine what I have to live with?
He was stirring.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
He'd be good on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
If he was honest.
We should get him on.
2 billion a month.
Yeah, so 2 billion a month, and now we've just in the last month we just set a record for our website. So the journalist, writing everything. I don't know, editorial website, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 80 million unique visits, and we really only just started that a year and a half ago.
Wow.
And that was in 1 month. And so we're really just ramping that up now. It's grown by 3 times in revenue in 1 year. And so that's another baby that I can see.
I love success, and I love it when people do well.
Yeah, and I love and you know what? It's interesting that you are British and you love other people doing
quite
well.
Rare, yeah.
Because I'm Aussie, and people in Australia generally don't like other people doing well.
No, tall poppy syndrome.
It's horrible.
Australia, Ireland, England, but like, it's not a zero-sum game. If you do well, that doesn't mean I can't.
Exactly.
And if you do well and I do well, then
we bring each other up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the honest truth. People think, oh, it's such bullshit. It's not bullshit at all. And where I learned that was in the States.
Right.
Coming from Australia, you go, who do they think they are? Yeah. They're doing this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they drive a supercar. What a dickhead. You know, all of this, you know. And then I'm driving the supercars and I get like spat at when I go back home in Australia.
Really?
You know, like, oh, you fucking stupid dick. And like,
wow.
you know, and because no one wants you to do well.
No.
And so they'll cut you down. And then I went to the States and everyone's like, oh man, I love what you're doing. Let me help you out, you know? And then I'd be like, oh, cool. Let me help you out. And they're like, yeah, of course. Like, let's do it together. And I was like, oh my God, this is completely different. And we used to make fun of the Americans. We used to go, oh my God, dude, you're so amazing. You know, like, because they compliment each other all the time. And we just call everyone dickheads.
Yeah.
And that's our compliment, right? And so when I first saw them all complimenting each other in real life, I was like, actually, I like this. This is nice.
Well, surely it's a better way to live, isn't it?
Well, it is. It really is. And out of all the people that have helped me the most, I'd say most of them have been Americans because they get it. They're in that mindset of, I will help you, you help me, we grow together, and let's be a success together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you make it then in the UK then?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. How did I? Because most people wanted me to fail.
Yeah, of course.
Even some family members and friends.
Yeah.
I suppose I just had to shut it all out.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking the day I started my business. I moved on from my old circles. I actually studied a lot online, and back then CDs and tapes, and everyone I listened to was American. So I guess I'm probably a pretty Americanized Brit.
There you go. It's exactly what happened to me. I think something really needs to change in our culture. People are never going to make it if they are around people constantly putting them down. Because the one thing, like for me to have made it, I needed that support system. I needed my husband, who is a very positive person. He's not Aussie, he's Swiss.
Yeah.
So he didn't have that tall poppy syndrome in him.
Yeah.
And then I had friends from all over the world who weren't Aussie or British, and they didn't have that in their system. So I had all of these people supporting me, and I needed that so much, especially with all the online hate and the people in real life bringing you down.
Have you had that as a woman in a very manly driven world?
Mate.
Yeah.
That was rough. Really, really rough. I didn't belong at all.
Did you ever think about quitting then?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. I hated it. I was so upset. So much. I started by going on press trips, right? That's how you get access to nice cars initially. Because you're not in this world. You don't know billionaires with huge collections. Yeah. I was driving in my Nissan Sentra, you know, and then driving a beautiful Ferrari on the weekend from Ferrari and then going back to my rental car. So I wasn't in that world. So we'd go on these press trips. And of course, since time began, the journalists covering cars have always been men. So it would be all men and then me. And not only am I not a car journalist, I'm also on social media and also a woman. So I had like all 3 things working against me. So I wasn't a man. I wasn't like a car expert who had looked into cars for the last 30 years and had written about engines and knew everything about them. And then I was also the dits on social media, right? Because they weren't on social media. They believed in the true word, you know, the power of the written word, right? That's journalism. And so they didn't even want to embrace social media. They just thought it was for idiots. And so I had all those 3 things coming into every press trip, and no one would talk to me. I'd walk into a room full of men, and immediately heard them all whisper, oh my God, there she is, that stupid idiot or something, you know, just something horrible. No one would talk to me, and I would just have to try and get on with it. And it was hard, honestly, because I'm not someone who grew up not caring what other people think. That's all I do care. Now I don't. I've learned not to, and I don't care anymore. But initially, of course, that hurt. I didn't understand why they didn't like me. Like, that hurts. And so it brought me down a lot. And then I also, not only in real life, got it online. So as soon as I left the press trip and then uploaded my content, then people would bash me online as well.
And what was the worst? In the room face-to-face with older men, or the trolls on social media?
Do you know what? I think the trolls on social media. Because it was just so many of them. You know, you can be in a room full of men, 10, 20 men. It's only 20 people.
Yeah, and they're whispering.
Yeah, and they're whispering. They're not telling you to. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not saying the worst things ever about you. They're just saying you're an idiot or something. Yeah. But online, you can say whatever you want. So the caliber of the insult was times 10, you know. And so, you know, people would wish I was run over by a car and, you know, died. And now I laugh about it. But everything you can think of. And just the really, like, I think really old school stuff as well, like get back in the kitchen. Like, how boring is that? Come up with a better insult than that. Come on, man. We're like 2024.
Come on, trolls. Step up your game.
Step up your game. Like, that's boring.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we were saying. We were saying that to women like 20 years ago. Come on, have we not moved on a little bit from that?
That's so bad. That
like, make me a sandwich. Yeah. And I'm like, what sandwich would you like? I would literally write back and go, what would you like? Bologna or ham and cheese?
That's humour, though. Surely, you know, you get to a point where you find that shit funny.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and then that would shut them up and everyone else would laugh. And that's where I kind of got my confidence. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to make a bit of fun back.
Yeah.
And then eventually they all went away because I didn't. They thought I'd go away. That's what their goal was, right? And then I didn't go away, and they thought, oh shit, then I'm going to have to go away because I don't want to be around her. So I'll have to leave. So all the trolls left. And now I've only got, I've only got supporters. I rarely get trolls now.
Well, you've proven yourself.
Yeah, I've just had to keep going.
Yeah.
And now what can they say? Oh, you're a fucking idiot. You're so successful.
You're a fucking idiot. You've got 2 billion views a month.
Yeah.
I mean, is there in a way a sense that they kind of hardened you enough to make you streetwise? They kind of did you a favour in a way.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Otherwise, I'd still be a shy little mouse going into these events or doing anything that I thought I wasn't welcome in. Yeah. Like, it could be in any kind of male industry, right? It could even be, watches are still very male-dominated. Could be real estate, not so much anymore. I think there are a lot of very successful women in real estate, but used to be. There are a lot of businesses that I think women feel, oh, I don't want to go into that. I'd love to, but I don't want to. It's too hard. There's too many people telling me that I don't belong there, blah, blah. Do it. Just do it, get through it, and you're going to be a success, because at the end of the day, you have something unique and they don't. Because you came in as a woman in a male-dominated world. It's really hard to begin with, but then once you rise up and get even better than them, you have got something unique to offer to clients and to customers and to everyone, because you're the only woman, and you do it better than the men.
Amen. And how did you get yourself through the lowest moments? Like, a lot of people are struggling right now, especially in the UK. It's not the greatest place.
No.
So how did you get through the darkest moments?
Yeah, I've been through some.
What specifically was?
Yeah, well, when 2020 happened, when people talk about burnout, if you've not been through it, I don't think you really understand what it is. And that's totally normal if you've not been through something. I was so badly burnt out that I forgot how to fall asleep. I was so anxious and nervous about my entire existence. Anxiety was just coursing through me. I remember at one point I turned to my husband and I said, how do you fall asleep? I can't remember how to fall asleep. And he's like, I just close my eyes. I'm like, yeah, I used to do that. I literally cannot sleep anymore. I got an hour of sleep a night if I was lucky. And that went on for a couple of months before I went into complete breakdown. I went into depression. I couldn't function. I couldn't remember things anymore. I would go out and try and film something. My husband's going, "What is wrong with you? You can't remember one sentence." I'd have to stop every sentence. I was completely done. And then I actually went to speak on a panel, and surprisingly, I mean, it all just fell into place. Things just happen sometimes, right? On the panel was a sports, not sports only, high performing psychiatrist. So he deals with high performers. So they could be CEOs, they could be elite sportsmen, anyone who goes through really extremes and then have to recover and go back through extremes. That's who he dealt with. And he said, he looked at me on the panel and he said, "Something's really wrong. Do you want to talk to me after this?" And as soon as I sat down with him, I burst into tears and I told him I couldn't deal with anything anymore. And he goes, "Right, what you haven't realized is you're not just on social media, you're a high performer, which means you have to get in front of the camera for hours on end. Energy is 300% of a normal person for hours on end. Then you go to an event where everyone expects you to be high energy for 3 hours. Then you get on a plane. Then you are a high performer. And when are you taking your rest? Because when you are a sports person, you go and perform and you give it your all for like 4 hours. But then what happens is you come backstage, you've got a therapist, you've got a masseuse, you've got a team, you've got a coach, you've got a whole slew of people around you helping you to recover from that intense period." He said, "When do you ever do that?" And I was like, I've literally never taken a recovery time ever in the 4 years I've been doing this. Not even 2 hours. And he said, "That's why you burn out. You need to realize that if you're going to put in that much energy into everything every day, you also need to put in just as much energy into recovery." And that really helped me. So then I saw him for a while, just talk through all my issues. I got on medication. The one thing that really spurred this was I lost my dog like a few months before that, and she was my baby. You know, I'm an animal lover, and so everything just came together. And so how did I get through it? Professional help, my husband helping me, my friends, everyone just supporting me and going, "Do you know what? Just take the time. People will be here for you when you're ready. They're not just going to go away. Just explain what you're going through." So I would be really honest. I just picked up the camera and I spoke to my audience and I started crying. I was like, "I just want you guys to understand that I need your support right now. I can't do this every day. That's why I'm going to hire people. And when you see them on my page, don't bash me for it. Don't be like, 'Oh, who the hell is this and why aren't you on it?' Because I can't survive anymore doing it all myself. So when you see them, can you just like support me in it?"
Yeah.
And people did.
Yeah. Wow.
I was open with it, you know?
Yeah. So
I just went on a massive rant. But yeah, that was a hard time. That was probably the worst time I went through.
So 2 or 3 times on our discussion, it's come up where things have been hard and afterwards it's better. So
everything's temporary. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Even the joy is temporary. Hard times temporary. Everything's kind of temporary.
Yeah.
So I've not what I used to do is let the, it's a huge roller coaster of emotions. One day you can get a call from Bugatti and they're like, "Oh my God, come and film the newest thing. It's exclusive," and all of this. And so we're on a high. We're like, "Oh my God, we're doing so well. Awesome." An hour later, we'll get a call from a lawyer saying you're being sued by someone and it's going to cost you $200,000. So those emotions, you go high and then you go low and then something else high happens. And so you're up, down, up, down, up, down.
And when you're an entrepreneur, that can be multiple times a day.
A day. Exactly.
Yeah.
and so I've kind of had to learn to not let the highs get me too high and not the lows get me too low. So I kind of have to regulate my emotions throughout the day.
Yeah.
And so Nick will come to me and say, "Oh my God, have you seen this amazing article and what they've written about you?" I said, "No, and I don't want to read it because I don't want to let what other people say about me affect my mood and my emotions, even if it's good."
Yeah.
Because I need to affect my emotions and my mood, not them.
Do you know a mentor of mine said once, we were in the back of a car because he was coming to speak at one of my events. And he's very spiritual and he was kind of meditating in the car. And he looked at me out of nowhere and he said, "Rob, I gave up happiness years ago because it made me so damn depressed." And it took me years to understand it because it's like a Yoda moment in Star Wars. But, you know, happiness, especially elation, shoots you up there I think it's a law. What goes up
Yeah.
must come down.
Yeah.
So when you said what you said, I understand the wisdom in that. And I realize that some people might listen saying, oh, well, you don't want to regulate your happiness. You don't want to regulate your joy. But what goes up must come down.
Yeah. If you're going to the extremes of the highs, then you're going to go through the extremes of the lows. And I will let myself, like when we raise money or whatever for the company, I'll let myself enjoy that high.
Yeah.
You know, I'll enjoy it. But I just know the next hour I'll get a call from a friggin' lawyer or someone saying, you know, everything's shit, everything's going to shit, you know, and I just need to be ready for it. That's all, you know.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I believe that there is upside in all downside. And obviously a lot of people are going to be moved by your stories, which they should be. But I don't think you would be as strong as you are now if you hadn't had the haters.
Absolutely.
And I don't think you'd be as emotionally regulated and controlled and have purpose of vision and really want to grow SBX if you hadn't burned out and been so depressed and on meds.
Yeah, because I know the lowest. And if SBX doesn't work, you know, I don't want to put it out into the universe, but if something doesn't work, because I've launched another business, it didn't work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, I still have a roof over my head. I can still afford to eat.
Still have 2 billion views a month.
So, yeah, you know, there is still, I think you need to put things into perspective, right? What is the worst that can happen? And so if something fails, I still have my family, I have my friends, I have my whole media business. Say the whole media business goes away, right? We talk about this because, you know, sometimes I'm scared. I'm like, oh my God, where is this going? Blah, blah, blah. And we go, if it all goes away, okay? Let's just pretend everything fails tomorrow. We've got nothing. I can always go back to my family, live with my family, have support, love. I have my husband, my dogs. That is the worst that can happen. And I'm still going to be okay because I have food to eat. I have support from my family. Like, I'm not going to be on the streets. And so if you're starting something where the consequence of that not working is being on the streets, totally understand that's really freaking scary. That's your bottom, right? But if you've already been on the streets, maybe that's okay. You just go back to the streets, right? I've grown up with my parents. I've lived there. I've, you know, not always had my own business and money and stuff. And if I go back to that, then that's what I go back to, you know? And that's what gives you the power to try new things. Take the risk and go, right, I'm going to take the risk because if this doesn't work out, it's going to be fine.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Because if you don't take the risk, you're not gonna get there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it.
No, and also the asking what's the worst that can happen gives you a floor.
Yeah.
But then ask yourself, what's the best that could happen?
Exactly.
And the best that could happen has no ceiling.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
No ceiling.
You're absolutely right. Do you feel like you've achieved everything now?
No.
Yeah. I mean, you never do, right?
No, I mean, I don't have anywhere near the views that you do.
No, but it's not about views for you. You've got a cash cow. You've literally got money coming in every day from your real estate.
Yeah, but I could have more.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I only have 7 cars. Andrew Tate has however many dozens.
I know there's always more.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm kind of okay with that as well.
Yeah. And I think you need to get to a point where the friends that we have now are, you know, I mean, they're beyond wealthy. And I'm okay with not getting to that amount of wealth because I'm not sure your happiness goes up double-fold, triple-fold by if you have 100 million or if you have 500 million or you have 1 billion. Yeah. I don't think your happiness goes up that much more just because you have
diminishing law of returns.
Right.
Yeah. So,
you know, so it's okay if I'm not, it's okay. Like I joke about it, but I would like it. It would be amazing. But is my happiness going to be tenfold? Probably not. I probably have more stress. So, you know, you just need to kind of watch out for it. Yes, you want to be successful. Yes, you want to have money. But at some point you got to realize, right, if earning more and putting more time into earning money and not being with my family and not doing all the other things I love will make me more money, but will it actually make me happier? No. Right, then let's just be happy at this level and keep succeeding, but have balance. Like spend some of that time with your family instead of working. And that's something I've learned just in the last year, because actually my husband went through a health scare. And this was really scary. Just this year in May, he went in for a normal, like a very routine surgery to get rid of a benign tumor. And I dropped him off at the hospital, and this is a guy who works all the time, 24/7, never puts it down. We've got an office in LA with our team over there for the auction, up until 2-3 a.m. every morning with them because of the time difference.
Is that because he doesn't want to spend any time with
probably,
you?
Probably, yes. Let's not get onto that.
You're about to tell a serious story, but yeah.
No, he loves me, doesn't he, babe?
That's the secret to staying together long term.
I'll just work all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I saw an elderly couple who'd been together for like 80 years. What's the secret to staying together forever? Not seeing each other too much.
And then
literally,
they say that.
It out.
Yeah, so it's also separate bedrooms as well. You're not meant to sleep together because you get better sleep, and then you're in a better mood the next day.
I hear older couples do that.
Yeah, and we've already started doing not separate bedrooms, but we had a massive bed made, so we don't even know we're in the same bed at night.
Hello.
Literally. So that's what we do. But anyway, I dropped him off at the hospital. I'll make this quick, but it's changed our life, and it happened just a few months ago. So I went in for this surgery. I went home, and he's meant to be out in 2 hours, and I'm waiting for the call, and I get a call from the anesthesiologist. And he said, listen, I need you to come in. And that's never a good call. No. Instead of, hey, he's out of the theater, he's in recovery room, whatever. So I went in, and he goes, listen, his lungs have collapsed. He can't breathe on his own. We're going to continue with the surgery because we haven't got this lump out or whatever. But just to let you know that we're going to have to put him in ICU. And we're going to have to intubate him and all of this. And I'm just like, holy shit, what is going on? And so they took him up to intensive care, and I saw him attached to all of these machines. You know how intense that room is, right? Just everything is breathing for you. He couldn't move. He was paralyzed. And he was all bloated from all the air stuck inside his body. And I waited there for 4 days for him to wake up. And on the second day, the doctor in ICU said, I didn't want to tell you this yesterday, but it wasn't looking good. And I was like, what? And I just burst into tears. And when he came out of it, I think he went through a major realization that something even worse could have happened. I could have lost him. He could have lost his life. And he turned into, from serious Nick, we now call him Party Nick. He's literally
wow.
will take nights off just to go into the pool and have a few drinks and turn on the music and just have fun and laugh and live a little bit. And it's made our lives completely different together. And the business is better too, because, the more you can chill and just be a little bit more top line about things and look at it from a very strategic point of view and not get into all the weeds every day and try and work out every single problem, it's actually better for the business. So there was a massive turning point this year for us. Yeah.
So there's another hardship that ended up making things better for
you. Yeah. And that's what happens, and if the worst did happen, I would have found another husband. It's fine.
Well, you've got 120 million followers.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be hard.
Of them are male.
It's fine.
You could have run a little social media competition.
I could have done that. Yeah. And the more cars, the better.
I'm glad he's left the room.
No, he's there.
He's there. He's behind the light. Like, not giving a fuck.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. If it happened to you, I would have done the same, whatever. Yeah. So, lots of stuff has happened. But it's all the stuff that no one knows you're going through, isn't it? They just see your success and they say, oh, well, why can't I have that? Well, it's because you need to go through all the shit as well. And not many people want to do that.
No, they don't. Amen. So why did you sell your McLaren 720S?
Oh, yes. Okay. So,
because aren't they supposed to be brilliant cars?
They are. I loved it. It was so quick. Oh my God, you get in that, it zips off and it's beautiful and I loved it. No sound. The sound didn't sound very good. I missed because I had a Lamborghini before that. Yeah. Missed it so badly, the sound. And also it's very interesting, if you haven't driven one before, when you grab the wheel, it's all very mechanical. It has little noises, little computer noises that it makes. So it sounds like you're kind of driving a computer a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not as raw as driving a Lamborghini. So I didn't feel like I was one with the car. It didn't have any problems, to be honest with you. The only thing that went wrong is when we first got it. And this was pretty much brand new. both of the shield, what do you call them? Shields, sun shields.
Yeah.
They fell off.
Right. On a what, 300 grand car?
Yeah, they fell off. They fixed them, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But nothing serious went wrong with it. It was a pretty good car,
because
actually.
in the UK, I don't know if it's globally, but McLaren have the worst reputation for aftercare and service and it going wrong all the time and everything costing so much money.
I was pretty lucky. Nothing really went wrong. Have you had a McLaren?
No, probably for that
reason, yeah.
Also, I would consider it now, though, because there's, like I said earlier, I think every downside has an upside, every upside has a downside. The upside of that is secondhand, they're cheap as shit.
Well, mine wasn't.
No? You get it nearly new.
Yeah,
but
it was like basically new.
They drop.
But yes, I know they drop like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
but the 575s and the 625s, they're not a lot of money.
Yeah, now, I mean, you can, once they're out and you buy them secondhand, it's not, I mean, we're talking still like into the hundreds of thousands, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're cheap cars.
No.
But they do drop quite quickly. I'm just thinking for collectible McLarens, what have you got? Help me out here. What's collectible? There are quite a lot now. Oh God, help me out,
You
Nick.
mean the
What's
P1, the W1?
Yeah, I mean, P1's an amazing car. Sorry, but I just have to say I freaking love the P1.
Yeah. And actually, they're about not even 1 million. Just over 1 million. Sorry. I haven't
checked lately, but
that feels like
a pretty decent price, right? For a P1, like I love the P1. It is a beautiful. Sorry, I mean I slammed the hole. I didn't feel at one with the 720S, but the P1 is just also such a beautiful looking car. I drove one that was fully exposed carbon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just so beautiful. And then the pattern, I do love that car.
I mean, the F1 as well, aren't they 20 million now?
Yes, 20 million.
The McLaren F1.
Yeah, and that's
mad.
Yeah, it's gonna appreciate more. If you can get a hold of one of them, that's gonna be one of the big ones to keep going up.
Right. I mean, the P1 sounds cheaper, just over 1 million. I'm talking pounds.
Yeah.
If the F1 is 20.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Would you ever buy cars just for them to appreciate?
Of course.
She says with a Rolls Royce that's dropping like
cars
a stone.
that go down in value.
Yeah.
I will once I make enough fuck you money to put it into something and just let it sit there.
Yeah.
At the moment, as I said, it's not my priority. I want to put a lot of money back into my business. But if I have the opportunity to grab a car at a good price that I think it will appreciate or get it straight from the manufacturer, absolutely 100%. Yes.
Even a Ferrari?
I don't think they'd ever offer me one anyway. So I don't really think I have to think about it.
Yeah, but you could just go buy one secondhand on the market, couldn't you? Put it in Nick's name or someone else's name.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a way.
It's not mine. Ew, gross.
Yeah.
Like, why would I own that? Ew, it's Ferrari. Yeah. Look, I don't know. Let's see. I'm not in the position right now to be throwing millions of dollars at a car and just let it sit there. I'm just not. We're about to sell.
Has anyone ever offered you a car, to give you a car?
Never.
No?
Bitches.
Yeah. So they'll just pay you.
They will pay me to come and, well, it depends who they are, right? Are they a collector or are they trying to sell their car? Is it a manufacturer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's all different. But the power is, do they want to sell it? Here's an audience of over 100 million people. You'll probably find your buyer.
Yeah.
They'll pay me to come in and put their car on my social feeds, right?
Right, yeah.
Same with the manufacturers, right? It's a new car. They need to get the word out that they've got a new car.
You'll be part of their marketing budget?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
What's
that's
the most
pretty
you've been
much how it
paid
works.
by a car company to do some content?
Good question. Well, my rates, if I need to fly somewhere, and
you just put on the diva there. Well, if I didn't fly,
if I had to get out of bed, and brush my hair, well then, no. If I have to, and I say that because otherwise I send one of my team, right? Because I am super busy and I'm trying to focus mainly on this new business now. So if I have to go and fly somewhere and film content and take my mind away from building the other aspects of the business, my price starts at about $250,000 just for like a 2-hour shoot.
Yeah.
So it requires not only, It sounds so deep. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if you're like shaking your head at this, listening to it, because it sounds like crazy. But
Go full diva.
I just
go full diva. It starts at $250. How much for the blue M&Ms?
Oh my God! I wish I was like, excuse me, there's a red M&M here. Ew, gross. No, I'm Aussie. Can we just say? I'm still down to it. Like, I'm a normal person. I don't like it when people go diva. I'm not that at all. No. It's just that I know my worth. I know my value, and I know what I can bring. When car companies have access to 100 million people who all love cars, then that's of worth to them, right? And my time is valuable because I run an entire business now, and I could be either focusing on some other part of the business to make that work, or I'm going to dedicate my time to you, right? It's opportunity cost, right? So it has to be, at least a $250,000 now. And it has been for a few years, actually. I have rejected deals of, a few $100,000 because either I needed to concentrate my time somewhere else. It would take me too long to go somewhere with the jet lag, and then it would actually not be a 2-hour shoot. It would end up being a 5-day shoot because, you'd fly in, you'd have to recover for your few hours, then you'd do the shoot, then you'd have to, fly somewhere else. It becomes a whole thing. So you just need to work out where is your time best spent. And so I have said no to a lot of money before, but I think it was the right decision. I don't think I've ever said no to something and then regretted it afterwards.
Yeah. That reminds me, I think it was Michael Caine that said this, but he said, if I get paid 10 million for the film, 2 million for the film and 8 million for the promotion.
Yeah, exactly. And the name that he's built,
yes,
everything. It's not just the
it's not just the hours.
It's not just the hours. It's the name that you've built. Because why are they paying, Jim Carrey $40 million for a movie, and his co-star, who is not well known at all, gets $1 million or less? It's because Jim Carrey has worked his ass off his entire life to build that name.
Bigger audience.
Bigger pull.
Yeah.
It means that the movie is going to say Jim Carrey's starring in this. Everyone's going to want to throw their money at it, go and see it in the theater, blah, blah, blah. So he deserves more money. Even though they're same caliber of actor, right? Yes. They're both as good as each other. The other one hasn't built up the name and the promotional worth, right? That the client gets. So that's the other thing. When I represent brands, it's like it's not just my time. It's the last 7 years that I've spent building this brand to get to the point where I can reach 100 million people. Yeah. And that takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So you're not just paying for the 2 hours, you're paying for the 7 years previously.
Yeah, and the 70 staff you've got.
Yeah, and all of
your
them.
overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are your yearly revenues in your business?
I don't know. Are we going there? He's like, shit, that's off limits.
Nick said nothing.
I know,
off
that's true.
And remember, I have a lot of entrepreneurs that follow me. So this is purely just out of interest to get, an idea.
So
tens of millions?
Yeah, okay. So let me put it this way. So during COVID, it was our biggest year. We only had 4 staff, and we made 11 million, and the profit margin was 98%.
Wow.
Okay, so we pocketed in over, $10 million. The next year, we started hiring. Yeah. So, all of that kind of came down. Yeah. So you have to accept that things are you're not going to make as much money, but in the long term, that's the goal, to make even more money, right? Yeah. So then we went to 8 mil. 10? Yeah. So then we went to 8.
Yeah.
Then I think 6, and now we're at the bottom because now we've established everything.
Yeah.
Now we've got the team in place. We fund everything at the moment, so we've got the funding. We can inject lots of money into it still. Yeah. We've the editorial website is taking off. SBX is just taking off now. And the media business, everything is in place. So next year, now we're looking at going back up to about 10 million.
Yeah.
So for quite a few years, we pocketed 10 million each year. And then, it went down to, a few million less while we were hiring. Yeah. But now I'm excited because now we're really on the trajectory to actually go 10 million this year. And then next year, even more than we've ever made.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, thank you for sharing that. 'Cause a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
we going
I'm like,
there?
oh my God,
But no, it's
Yeah,
relevant. It's relevant.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, see, and like so for the business 2 years ago, I think it was, we didn't have the editorial business, we didn't have SBX, we just had our media business, and we were offered $100 million to sell it, so to completely sell it. And
hard offer, 100 million.
yeah, and well, it was worked out over 5 years. We would over 5 years.
So and they'd retain you for 5 years, and
Yes,
eventually
we would have to
work
stay
you
on
out.
in 5 years, etc. Yes, we'd have to hit certain targets, etc. to get the full payout, but we were confident of that.
So 100 million was some of it up front, and the rest on an earn out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we said no because we had so much more to do. We knew we could get more. We knew this was worth more. And so that's when we started we knew we were just on the precipice of something amazing. We were just about to start this editorial website. We saw the potential in, all of these other side businesses.
Yeah.
We're like, we haven't made it yet. We've made the media, but we haven't really made it yet. We know the potential of this. And so we said no. Right. I'm glad we did because everything, it's been tough. It's been tough putting everything in ourselves over the last few years and not having help from anyone else, but worth it because now we've got these extra 2 businesses. One of them is doing incredibly well, and another one is we have every expectation that it will be a $1 billion business. So
which one's going to be the $1 billion?
SBX.
$1 billion business.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I'm getting to is we're doing our first raise in the next few months, and so let's see what comes in. And
you'll sell shares in the company. That's how you'll do it.
Yes. And so it'd be nice to get a little bit of money in. Obviously, we want to put a lot back into the company so we can really just drive growth.
But also take a bit off
But also take a little bit off because we put so much of our own stuff in there. Yeah. I would love to be able to buy a nice car again, and just put a couple of $1 million into a car.
Yeah.
Whereas right now I don't want to do that. I have the money sitting there, but for me, I feel stupid putting it into a car right now.
Yeah.
When I know that I could use it to fuel the business.
Yeah.
So and then actually we're just about to sell a house. So we got into real estate a little bit a couple of years ago. Got an old, pretty rundown house in a very, very good area. It's always the best thing, right? Yeah. All of your neighbors are
worst house. Best street.
Yeah. Exactly. So we bought that and we completely demolished it. We kept just the foundation, and it's just about to be finished this month. It's taken 2 years, and we put about probably $10 million into it.
Yeah.
We're going to sell it for almost $30 million.
Right.
So just over 2 years.
But in 15 years, that'll be worth 60 million.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? I mean, I'd like some money now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I developed 23 flats years ago. I mean, I've got 400 units.
Wow. It's incredible. Tenants. Yeah, I was reading all about it. It's incredible.
But I kept them all because I had a 23 apartment development. Did when I could hardly grow a beard. I was really young. I didn't know. We did it well. But I sold that, made in the low millions, and that's gone up and up and up and up since.
Incredible.
So
you're not going to sell anything? You're just going to keep them as rental cash cows?
Yeah. Property has doubled every 12 to 15 years in the UK since 1088.
Where do you have most of your property?
Just outside London.
Yeah.
Yeah, London's pricey, so we get better cash flows, better yields, and we can buy a lot more. So we have a 99 apartment block, 135,000 square foot, with 160 tenants in.
Wow.
In London, it'd probably be 200 million.
Yeah.
In Peterborough, it's 20 million.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So...
But when you are buying in the UK, it's because we were looking at buying in Switzerland. My husband's from there. It's a very stable market, which is great, but it doesn't give you any potential for much upside, right? When you sell. What's it like that for you then? If you've bought, I don't know, when did you buy these apartments? Have you seen much growth if you want to sell?
Yeah, we've been buying for 18 years.
Okay.
And the first stuff we would buy was between 40 and 70 grand.
Okay.
For 2-bed houses and flats. And now they're 180 to 250.
Okay.
And in 1088, all the land and all the property in the UK was worth about 1 million.
Yeah.
In Chelsea now, a car parking space in the certain areas might be 1 million. So it's not Bitcoin. It's not only been 20 years.
Yeah.
So like your money, your life. We've just met. But if we meet and do a round 2 in 25 years, I'm going to make you go and check out how much that 30 million property is that you sold.
Yeah.
Because it will be 75 million.
This is true.
And you will wish you kept it.
No, I don't reckon. Because what we'll be able to do with that money now is
go and make a $1 billion company.
Or make a $1 billion company, and also just go rebuild another, get something else that's, worst house in the best street.
Yeah.
Rebuild that. Make sure that, we're going to make another 10 mil off that when we sell that. I would much rather take those kind of smaller steps along the way than just hold on to one asset, because also it's the UAE. It's not.
Oh, so it's here.
It's here. It's here. It's an incredible opportunity to make a lot of money. Because of the growth here of this market. But you don't know what's going to happen in 50 years, right? It's not as established as a market like London or somewhere else like that. So I would much rather keep it for 2 years, take the money, and then go and reinvest it and do something else with it.
Yeah, in the UK there'd be a lot of taxes on that. Taxes here are lower, are they?
No, you don't pay any you don't pay any property gains tax or anything. Yeah. No, sorry to break that to you.
You pay tax for breathing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
In the UK. So is that why you moved to Dubai?
No, actually moved here right after university. I actually moved here because my husband got a job here out of university.
Right.
And it was actually our honeymoon destination. This is where we wanted to come for our honeymoon. And he actually got his first job out of uni here. So we were like, right, well, let's just move there. We moved here, 16 years ago. And it was a different city completely 16 years ago. I moved here. I didn't have a job. I tried to get a job, but we landed here right as the financial crisis was about to hit.
Yeah.
So end of 2008. We landed, and so things went bottom up. And
they did the whole world, though, didn't they?
Mate, it was something else, huh?
Yeah.
And the rumors about the cars being left here on the streets all true, because people had the debt and they couldn't pay off the debt and they just had to leave the country. And so things have changed a lot in the last 16 years. Yeah. Laws have completely changed. But back then, you couldn't have debt. If you had debt, you'd go to jail. So that's why everyone left.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's ways to pay it off. It's all very, very structured.
Yeah.
But it was a weird time, and then I got into journalism because that's what I studied and that's what I love to do. So I was on the radio for a bit, and I had odd jobs and whatever. You know what you do after uni, you just try and get some money.
Yeah.
And then fell into the car thing. But I mean, coming over here and just seeing all of the beautiful cars all the time, it sparks your interest.
It definitely does.
I come from the country, mate. Like I come from a 2,000 people small town south of Brisbane in Australia.
Well, where you're all related.
And I'd never seen a Porsche,
Yeah.
And so obviously I wouldn't have the same career there, and I probably didn't have the same interest in cars because I didn't see the same caliber of cars around me, right? But when I came over here, I was like, wow.
It feels like a really entrepreneurial place.
It is.
Where the people who run this state, country, are entrepreneurial, and they want the people here to do well.
They want people to succeed. 100%.
UK, are you listening?
Yeah. No, they really do. Because look, it's a small population of Emiratis here, the locals. In order to build a international, globally renowned financial hub and city, you need people. You need talent.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to get talent? You need people to come into the country from overseas. And so they foster that growth. They want you to move here and be successful, because if you're not successful, you'll leave and then the city won't grow.
Yeah.
You need outside talent. It's not like London has all the talent. You've got millions of people already, a lot of talent. Yeah. They didn't have that. They had a very small population.
Are you noticing more Brits coming here? Because so many people I know are either moving here or planning it.
Oh, mate, too many Brits.
I was going to come. Oh, well.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, look, there's people from everywhere. I think there's so many Aussies. There's just from everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about it. Like, I'll sit around a table. We'll have a group dinner of just our good friends. Every single person at the table is from somewhere else.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like one is from Argentina, one is from Armenia, one is from the UK, South Africa, Australia, Slovakia, everywhere.
Yeah.
Saudi, one of our good friends is Saudi. Like, it's just so interesting. And you talk about each other's cultures and how you grew up and what's different about the cultures and mindset, and you learn so much,
Harry and I are going to have our honeymoon, and we're never going back.
Mate.
Yeah,
come
we're
on,
never going
destination.
back. And it's fucking freezing right now in the UK.
It is.
Minus 100.
Here we're freezing, actually. 10 degrees at night. We're like, oh.
Oh, stop gloating. 10 degrees at night. Yeah, you have to put 2 thin layers on.
Yeah, it's terribly hard work, you know.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Yeah.
What do you think of Andrew Tate's car collection?
I don't know anything about it.
Well, you know he's got a Bugatti.
Yeah, but I don't.
Does he own that Bugatti?
I have no idea.
Oh, right.
I don't. I'm not interested in what. I'm not interested, first of all, in him and his car collection.
What do you think of him?
Nothing. Because I just don't have that much interest in getting to know him. I mean, I know that's crazy, right? Most people have an opinion of him. I don't want to spend my time getting into it. I just don't have the time for it. And so if I'm going to form an opinion of someone, I want to make sure that I know quite a lot about them.
Yeah.
And their history and like why they do the things they do. And is what people say in the news accurate? Is like, but because I don't want to just throw around opinions of people because that's what people do of me.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in giving opinions of anyone unless I know their story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you? Because you interviewed him, right?
Yeah, I know Andrew very well. He's interviewed him twice. And by the way, I really respect that, what you just said, because I do think opinions are cheap. And I think people...
Yeah, well, I don't know him, right?
No.
It's like, how can you... Yes, you can have an opinion, but I mean, then I might meet him the next day and go, actually, he's a really nice guy. I don't know.
No.
And so what's the value of my opinion?
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
Well, everyone else in the whole world seems to value his opinion so
Yeah.
much so he slipped into the questions on our podcast.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to know about him. What do I think about him? I think he's a genius marketer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a genius marketer. You know, you figured out social media when the old guys were writing on a typewriter.
Yeah.
And I think he's a genius marketer. I imagine there's some things he's done which he'd want them to stay in his closet. He wouldn't be the only human. So, yeah, but I've enjoyed having him on the show, and I've enjoyed, you know, one thing I will say is, we were talking about this when we took a break. There's been a bit of laziness and entitlement, especially in the UK. And people don't really want to work anymore. They want to be given it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember when I started, I wanted to work harder and longer and overtime. I took my first job, no salary, all commission. I wanted to earn the right to show what I can do. And since lockdown, it's been a lot more entitlement and like we should pander to them and give them everything.
Yes.
And, you know, they use ChatGPT to find out HR law and hack you and all that. And, you know, Andrew's been like, you know, just be capable. Just get really good, just work hard and be capable. And, you know, you want to get a great woman, be a great man. And I like that message.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think we're pretty much grew up with the same mentality. You know, I did several internships for free. I didn't expect any money, of course, because I wanted the experience. And now, you know, these people don't work with us anymore. So, you know, it's when I say this, they're not part of my team.
No.
Okay. But we have had people come in and they're from the younger generation and they would be working with us for 4 months and they actually hadn't had any social media experience. So they'd learned everything on the job. And then 4 months into the job, they would say, well, now I need a promotion. I'm like, what? Sorry, what? And they're like, well, now I'm ready to be moved up. After 4 months.
And get paid more.
More. And then also, literally after every 6 months, why am I not getting a pay rise? And I'm like, look, can you just do your freaking job? Just concentrate on doing really, really good work, and then the pay will come.
Yes.
You have to I get so frustrated because people will just want to leave at 6 and go, oh, my job is done for the day.
Oh, in the UK, they want to leave at 5.
Yeah, go for beers.
Yeah, and they want to roll in at 9:15.
Yeah.
And chat for 15
And
to...
look, we sound like old fuddy-duddies right now.
We are.
Okay? We probably are.
Yeah, but some of those values are good.
Sure.
Always do more than you're paid to do, and you'll get paid more.
Yes.
What happened to that?
Yeah, okay. However, okay, now the younger generation, they're not going to work for free. I get it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to stay past 6. Some of them will. I'm generalizing. Some of them will.
Well, those that do are going to do well.
Right. But it's because their values have changed. We grew up with completely different values. we grew up thinking if we work hard, if we dedicate a lot of our time to other people, we will get better raise. We will blah, blah, blah. This is expected of us. And then we will have more money to buy a house and settle down. And this is just how life works. They have grown up with a completely different value system, which we think is wrong, but actually it's just different. They value work-life balance. Like we have never valued work-life balance growing up. We knew that we had to work hard and work long hours just to get the job and to stay in the job. They go, I'm going to work 9 till 6 because actually I value my time after work just as much or even more than I do
fine,
working.
but they can't get all the upside perks.
Yes.
Because everything comes at a cost.
Yes.
But I think they expect the upside perks.
Yes, no, they do, and you're right. You can't have both, but I feel like the mindset of a lot of people is shifting that they don't even want the promotion now. Like a lot of people are saying, I don't want to be promoted. I'm happy just where I am getting my salary because if I get promoted, I'll have to work more, and I actually then won't be able to do all the other things that I love on the weekend and after work, etc.
Someone who works better, smarter, harder will just
totally.
And inflation will wipe out their salary.
Something needs to change. I'm not saying that this is sustainable. I don't feel like it is. Something will need to change because we need hard workers.
Yeah.
We need people's ethics really to come back. Yeah. Like exactly. It's not even about the money. It's like if I know that I've done a really fucking great job today and it's not just good enough. Like, oh, that's good enough. I'll go. Yeah. I can never do good enough. I needed to go the extra mile because it made me feel good. Yeah. It wasn't even about my boss or my salary. It was about me internally going, fuck, I'm proud of myself today.
Yeah, wow.
And tomorrow I'm going to be proud of myself. And I'm not sure we have as much of that anymore. And I'm not sure why.
Well, I think something you said about the values changing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I do think, fuck it, I'm just going to say it. I do think we've got a bit woke. I mean, like I'm from the UK, and there's so much entitlement, and everyone wants everything before they give anything. Everyone is wrong, but a generation, or even some parts of the generation, and there's so much inclusion without merit. And I have a theory as well that because society probably up until lockdown, we had a little recession. But for 30 years in the UK and many parts of the world, life's been quite easy and good. Yeah, because imagine we'd just been in a third world war. Everyone would go, no one would go, I just want to work half a day. Everyone would be rebuilding the city.
True.
So in a way, maybe we've been a victim of our own success and things have been too good for too long.
Maybe.
But in the UK now, everything's ruined. Taxes, like VAT 20%, corporation tax 25%, income 39%, national insurance 15%. Business rates, that's got to be another 5 to 8%. Pension contributions 3%. I've worked it all out. And then get this for a scam, right? Just let me have my round.
Okay. The face is going red. The veins are coming out.
They are. Like, okay, tax me on what I earn, fine, but then don't tax me on what I spend.
Yeah.
In Dubai, they don't tax you on what you earn much. But they tax you on what you spend, one or the other. But one or the other.
Yeah.
But in the UK, they pillage us on what we earn, and then they pillage us on what we spend.
Do you know
and then you go to London, and a camera captures you. Fined. Oh, I'm on that yellow line. Fined. He loves it when I rant about this shit. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay.
Do you know what's funny?
That therapist you had, I might need a connection.
I'll hook you up. I've never paid tax in my life.
I did like you until
Can we still
right
be friends?
now.
Yeah, no.
We can.
Can we?
Because I don't judge.
Oh, thanks.
I just need to know what you know.
The secret's been moved to Dubai straight out of university. I've never had a job outside of Dubai.
You don't pay corporation tax?
No, we do now. It just came in a couple of years ago. But it's low. It's very low.
No income tax?
No income tax. However...
No national insurance on your staff for 15%?
No. But we do have to pay. We do have to pay their insurance, but it's no.
But national insurance is a tax. It's not insurance. They call it national insurance. Insurance. It's not. It's fucking tax.
I don't understand a word you're saying. It's tax.
Yeah, but it's propaganda. They call it.
What is this whole tax thing?
They call it VAT. Value added tax.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking value?
Yeah, I know.
There's no value.
Yeah, we've got VAT now here. but it's nothing.
5%,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
look at you. I don't understand what you're saying because I've never paid tax.
yeah, literally.
Can I just say it? You bitch.
I know. I fucking won.
No,
I won at life.
I'm really happy for you.
Move over here, dude.
Well,
okay,
this is it. Like,
okay, let me tell
can we
you
stay
something.
in touch?
Literally, let me tell you something. I've just met with the federal organization here. Their goal for the next, I think it's either it was 5 or 10 years, can't remember. Over the next 5 to 10 years, they want to bring in 10,000 creators to live in Dubai. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you a golden visa, which basically means you can renew it for the rest of your life. So you can live here for the rest of your life. They will set up any kind of studios that you want, like your business, whatever's going to help you thrive as a content creator here, like podcaster, whatever it is. They will help you set up that infrastructure. They will help you get the staff that you need. That is their goal, to bring in all of these people and build this industry. Yeah, I know.
He's just had his first baby.
Oh, mate.
Mate.
You get. Oh, not you, the wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a nanny here. Back at home in Australia, no one can afford a nanny. Here, everyone has a nanny.
Like really cheap as well.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, some people don't treat their staff well, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
If you're a good person, obviously you're going to pay them a fair wage, and that wage is more than fair for what they get for it back home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't seem like a lot here in comparison to what we earn, but they make a much better living from being here than they would back home. So you can get a nanny, you can get a driver, you can get infrastructure built, you can get your golden visa. I mean, seriously, like, they are putting a lot of effort into building an entire industry over here, the new industry, the creator industry. So, I see, like, the cogs are turning, yeah.
We've been sweating blood for 1,200, 1,300 episodes.
No tax, mate. No tax.
Oh.
Look, a little bit of tax, but,
yeah, but a little bit of tax is fine. I don't mind paying tax, but I've paid fucking tens, maybe hundreds of millions in tax.
Wow.
I don't know. But,
so how much are you earning then a year?
Well, I mean, we'll do 23 million this year in sales in our training businesses.
Yep.
We've got our real estate portfolio. We've obviously been doing it 18 years. We've been investing for 18 years. So we do all right.
Yeah.
I'll answer anything, and obviously you're not interviewing me, but my business partner, my accountant, and my wife have all sworn me to never share net worth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's no upside.
Fair enough.
And there's a lot of downside.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we're doing all right. You're doing all right. We're doing all right. Tens of millions, not hundreds of millions, but not far off.
Yeah.
But I've been paying tax in the UK for 18, 19. I've got 100 staff. I pay all their national insurance.
Yeah.
I pay the VAT on the business. That's millions a year just there.
Yeah.
And there's no support. It's
Come
sad
to
state.
honestly, like, this is a real thing I'm talking about. We can talk about it after this.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because it's exciting being here as well. Look, things are getting more expensive because so many people are moving here because they see the opportunity.
Yes.
So things are getting more expensive. Just to get here, I said, oh my God, I'm late, because the roads are packed.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
They're expanding the roads now. They're having to double the lanes.
And they're already wide enough.
Yeah. And now they're doubling them because so many people are moving here. The opportunity is here. It's so safe. I was talking to you about this before we started, that this is the safest country for women. Whenever I leave the country, I don't feel as safe as I feel.
Safe.
So safe. I can walk around anywhere, any time of the night, by myself as a woman. Even just simple things like, growing up in Australia or UK, you'd be walking down the street as a woman and you just get catcalled out of the window of some idiot from a construction site or from out their window. Window. Yeah. Oi, right? Oh, what about, I don't know what they say. Bird, kind of fucking it's been a long time since I got catcalled. I can't remember.
It might feel good if you go back to the UK
it might
and
actually
do
feel
it.
good, yeah. You don't get any of that. There's just no harassment.
Yeah.
People just respect your space and your privacy. You can't film anyone without their permission. You can't take a photo. There's no paparazzi here.
Well, that's really good.
So
wow,
it's a good place, and I love it. And I've been here a long time, and there's a good reason for that. Yeah.
All right, Harry, we need to have a talk on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Right, let's do a super quick fire round.
Okay, love it.
before we go. And thank you for all this. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming. It's been
pleasure.
Awesome. And it's taken me back to my radio days, so I've had fun. Like
Awesome.
talking into a mic. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Love
you.
it.
So, rate and rank these supercar brands 1 to 4.
Ooh.
Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, McLaren.
Right.
Top to bottom. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, McLaren. What's the fourth worst and the first best?
Okay, so fourth is the worst, right?
Yeah.
So Ferrari.
Ferrari's the worst.
Well, for me.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, just added a bit of spice there.
Oh my God. Ferrari's
That was
last
a bit lame
place.
of me. Yeah.
Look,
most people would put Ferrari top, wouldn't
No,
they?
I know. I'm being a bit extreme. I understand what Ferrari has built. It's incredible. They do have incredible cars. They irk me a little bit.
Yeah.
They rub me the wrong way.
Oh.
So I think I'm just being a bit petty.
That's fine.
As well.
You can be.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're in fourth place because of my pettiness.
Yeah.
Not because I think
That's
their
good.
cars
So-
are total shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fourth place, Ferrari. Then you said Porsche, McLaren, Lambo, right? Then probably, this is hard. Lamborghini's going to be at the top for me. So then second and third would be, I'd say McLaren second, Porsche third.
Wow.
That's really controversial, isn't it?
Yeah,
Porsche and Ferrari third and fourth.
It is. I don't think anyone I've asked that has ever said that.
Oh, God.
No. It's good. It's interesting.
I love Lamborghini because they're fun. The sound, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm dying for another Lamborghini just to hear that roar.
Yeah.
They're innovative. I like the culture that they've built with the Lamborghini owners. Ferrari is exactly the opposite for me. And then Porsche, I love a good all-round Porsche for a daily, but I just think they all kind of look the same. And then McLaren, they have some really freaking amazing hypercars. Nothing's really gone too wrong with the one I had, so I don't really have much hate for them.
All right. What's the most underrated supercar?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Trying to think. My God, there are so many that's going through. Oh God, underrated. I hate these quick fire rounds. I'm so slow.
Them. I love the long pauses.
Most underrated. I don't know. It's too hard, man.
No,
it's too many cars.
You can do this.
Next question. I got to think about it. We'll come back to it. Because I'm just trying to, because you know what, I have a really bad memory. As in, I could have driven this car yesterday and gone, God, this is the most underrated supercar. And then today I've completely forgotten it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I move on so quickly.
I
move on so quickly from the cars that I completely forget what cars I've driven.
I'm going to help dig you out. You see a lot of cars.
But I do, like literally, I will drive a different car maybe every day for months. And then I've forgotten the one I've driven last week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've forgotten the positives and the negatives of each, and I don't know. Nick, help me. He's what? Yeah.
The i8.
Well, okay. Here's the i8 story, right?
Yeah.
Used to have an i8. Love the design. I think it's beautiful. Severely underpowered. I think if they did the whole thing again, beautiful design, more power, it could really be classed as a very, very cool supercar. Because BMW doesn't have a supercar.
No, it doesn't. Why not?
Exactly. And so
Come on, BMW.
Yeah, we've been talking to them about this for so long. Look, they don't want to put the money into it. Because when you build a limited run of supercars or hypercars, it doesn't actually make much money for the company.
Right.
So, but we're like, look, but it's PR value, right?
Yeah.
When you go to supercar events and there's every other brand represented, even Lexus, you know, LFA, like even Ford has a, you know.
Yeah.
And then BMW, one of the greatest car brands, does not have any representation at a car show. Mad. So they are. You know, it's obviously in talks, but I think when they came out with the i8, I thought, wow, what a beautiful design. But then they just completely...
I was slow as hell, wasn't
Oh my God,
it?
it was so underpowered. And I just thought, oh wow, that's a real shame.
Yeah.
So I kind of answer it?
Yeah.
I know it's a bit shit, but...
No, your answer is your answer.
Yeah, I mean, it was his answer, but
All
I
right.
cheated.
Yeah. I remember about, I think 2009, I imported one of the first GTRs into the country from Japan, and I paid 29 grand for that GTR.
Oh my God.
Oh, and I sold it for 35, which I made a bit. I put 700 horses into it, but even just at standard 500 odd brake, back then, 29 grand. I mean, I miss that car now.
Wow. Do you see many?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm from Peterborough. So I think we might own the only Lamborghini in Peterborough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you think that's the most underrated?
Well, I mean, everything's value-based, isn't it? You know, I think the DBS at 130 grand, not much to go wrong with on that.
Yeah?
Because it's relative to how much you pay, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true. Is it a supercar yet?
Oh, that's a little bit snobby. Is it a supercar? DBS? I mean, I suppose it's 700 horsepower through 2 wheels.
Yeah,
probably.
It's a supercar.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm just
You just
rubbing.
you're just winding me up. All right then, check this out.
Teasing.
And I even want Nick to not know this.
Yeah, okay.
What's a secret you've never shared or a story you've never told?
Even to my husband.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you've shared it and told it.
We've been together 22 years. You think, oh God.
What's a secret you've never shared or a story you've never told? That's it. That's it. It went through your mind.
Yeah. Just because I'm a bit ashamed of it. And it's so stupid. But when I was in high school, I met this girl and she came from the States and she had this incredible, when you go to a sports event and it's school versus school and you have war cries and you like kind of blast each other and you're like, you're a bit shit and we're the best and blah, blah, blah. And so she came from the States and she had this amazing war cry that she knew from her school back in the States and she taught me it. So I went to school and I told my friends this war cry. Anyway, it caught on. Everyone was like, this is awesome. We're going to use this at the next sports event. And they were like, where'd you get this? I said, I made it up. I did it.
Can you do it?
I can't remember it. And so the whole school knew this war cry. They used it at every single sports event. And they were all like, wow, Alex is the best. Alex made this war cry up. And then all of the other schools in the whole district knew it. And I just sat with the guilt of going, I had nothing to do with this. It's actually from the States. It's probably pretty well known. Yeah. But I'm glad the internet wasn't really around then because people would have been able to look it up pretty quick. And I've held that with me. It's such a shit story, but I learned a lot from it because I'm like, just don't lie about stupid shit because it just makes you feel guilty. Yeah. And it always bites you in the ass. Like, luckily they had to shut it down because it was a war cry that was really, it insulted a lot of other schools. So they're like, right, we need to shut it down. We can't do it anymore. And so it kind of went away. And I was like, oh God, thank God. Because it could have really bit me in the ass and I could have looked like a fucking idiot in front of thousands of people. And so,
and it could have gone viral if it was
it could have gone viral if it was, exactly.
So
now I learned a lot from that. Being a young girl, I was 14. I was like, you just shouldn't lie about shit because it can get a life of its own. And then it's out of control and it's not up to you anymore. And I'm just lucky that that's a lesson that I learned so young. Don't lie about bullshit.
And do you see a lot in the social media world? Is it a bit full of shit? Or?
Oh, totally. And that's why I'm like, people try and big up their lives. And honestly, I'm just like, listen, I have 2 cars. Yes, I'm Supercar Blondie, but I have 2 cars. It's not my priority to have a big garage. It is what it is.
Oh, but they're only 650 grand each.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? But I could easily come up here and go, I have this, I have that, and like just pretend I have shit. But what's the point?
No, because someone will know that you've got 2 cars.
Someone will know. And it's like, well, okay, and also who cares?
Yeah.
That's my life. That's my truth, right? And so that's what sits with me. So, and there's so much bullshit on social media. And that's why I actually don't go on social media much at all.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
I just downloaded TikTok 6 months ago.
but you're probably on it.
My team, my actual name has been on TikTok for years.
Yeah.
But me as an actual user to consume TikTok videos 6 months ago.
Yeah. Because you understand that you're a producer and creator and not a consumer.
Yeah. And because I know it also kind of reminds me of work. Like I'm watching creations and I'm like, oh, that could have been better, or this could have blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of analyzing it.
But you don't watch any other creators or YouTubers who you think are really good?
I don't watch anyone. Isn't that insane? I watch a couple of Facebook creators because my biggest platform is Facebook.
Yeah.
So I watch a couple of Facebook creators.
Who's good?
Well, I can't remember any of their names. How bad is that? It's all about true crime and like telling stories. It's got nothing to do with cars. I just watch them to switch off. Right. It's like literally about true crime. That's the only, by the way, only podcast I listen to is true crime as well. To switch off. And Disruptors, obviously. Yeah. I mean, that's a given. So yeah, I just don't consume it because I feel like it's already consumed my life. Social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it is your life.
It is my life. Yeah. Not so much now than it was. Yeah. Like I have a bit more balance now. I have 6 dogs, so that's a
wow.
I'm kind of a crazy dog lady at this point.
Are you a mum?
I'm not.
No.
Chosen not to be.
Yeah.
I don't want children. No.
Oh, no regrets?
No regrets.
You never wanted them?
No. And it's been interesting.
Did Nick?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's a good fit.
So, we met so long ago. I met him when I was 17 and he was 19. So we kind of grew up together. And so it wasn't like we met each other older so that we already knew exactly what we wanted in life. We didn't really know when we were 17. We were like, let's just explore and see what's going to happen in life. And then as we grew together and we had our jobs and we had all of these other things going on, we're like, we're actually not that keen. No. Like it was a decision we kind of came to together over multiple years.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky for that because that's a major thing between couples, right? And the fact that we see eye to eye on that is brilliant. And I'm really happy because I just love him and he's my person and I've got my dogs. And
but 6 dogs, that's compensation then.
Yeah, it is. It's probably a hole. It's probably filling a hole. Deep down inside, I really want a baby and I'm just like chuck dogs at it. Yeah. So no children. You?
Yeah, I've got 2, 10 and 13. Love having my kids. Would never change it, but don't want any more.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
You've done that.
Yeah. And no regrets. But I would, a lot of people really desperately want kids.
Yeah.
And, you have more freedom when you don't.
You can see like if you really want children, I feel really, really sorry for people in that situation. If you crave a child, there's nothing that can really replace that kind of craving because I know that from my little sister. She's always wanted one. I've just never had that. So I'm lucky actually that I don't feel that because who knows if I could have even had one. I've never tried. No. I mean, I may be one of those unlucky people that just can never have one.
Yeah.
So I've found joy in so many other things like building the business, spending time with my husband. We have so much freedom. We go wherever we want, whenever we want. I spend time with my nieces and nephews, my other family, like my siblings. I'm happy. I feel fulfilled.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel really fulfilled doing this show. And I would stay here forever.
I know. It's been so nice. Yeah.
But you've given a lot of your time.
Well, thank you so much.
And we're probably going to be late for the next one, aren't we, Harry?
Yeah. Oops. Sorry about that. I ranted and raved.
No,
it's been so nice to talk to you and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And where do you want most people to follow? I mean, obviously everyone knows you, but what channel is your main creator channel?
SBXcars.com.
Yeah.
SBXcars.com.
Yeah, shout it out, XBX. Just literally SBX.
SBXcars.com. No, in all seriousness, look, wherever you're on social media, that's where we are. Supercar Blondie is everywhere. It's just one of those things. Whenever a new social app pops up, we have to be there. Yeah. So it's whatever app you enjoy most consuming, we're there.
All right. Nick, thank you.
Thank you Alex, both very much. Thank you, Harry.
Been a real pleasure.
Behind the camera, and we'll see you.
See
you soon. We'll see you in Dubai when you move.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All and we'll do another one of these in 30 years when you've sold all your real estate and you regret it.
Oh shit! What a way to end. Thank you, man.